Ballon football over there. I mean, he has the experience. He has experience. Let me finish.
So those kind of stats piss me off when they come, you know, when they bring them up. It's just like, that's a jinx, man. Why do you have to talk about this now? But
keeping injuries down. I know people have gone on about if we lose Lukaku, it could be a bit of a situation. I hope to God it doesn't happen that way, but I just don't know.
It could be Kepa because he made the save. People would say Kovačić, he was okay. I mean, he done what Kovačić does, but
fancy as well about they've never gotten relegated. What do you think about that?
Sergio,
is that something you like? Yeah.
Do you know what?
Oh yeah, Diego, like he was consistently performing for us season.
I think you're missing the point, man. I think you're missing the point.
He's gonna play as a 9. Kai is the second. We only have two main 9 in the team.
Michael, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Mount, and Havertz if they blame behind the tackle. So the tackle's got to find the way.
If you have an agreement, that means there's a pre-contract or something that was like we agree on this one. They just went to announce it. Let's just
but
that little touch, but listen, that little touch that he gets are more vital
To this particular style. Anyway.
Sorry guys, I was doing connection.
Big up to everyone. Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the stream. I hope you guys are doing great. We haven't even started yet, and I'm getting feedback from Kasim's mic, man. Kasim, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? I hope you guys are all doing good. I hope you guys are all doing fine. Nah, it's all good, Kasim. It's all good. Big up to everybody in the chat. Now, Tobago, Steve, and Wise Guy, and I'm not sure who's first. I think the person who's first is actually Wise Guy, because Wise Guy actually jumped in as the stream started, while Tobago jumped in 20 minutes before the stream even started. So I'm not sure if that's fair. Anyway, first prize goes to Wise Guy today for being first on the stream. Big up to you, Big up to you, Abdul B. Big up to you. Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone. Listen, guys, we had a stream yesterday, but from what I understand, notifications were not sent out. So a lot of people missed the stream. If you want to catch it, it was a heated discussion about the Chelsea attack, Lukaku, Havertz, and topics of that nature. So if you missed it, it's my last upload. Go watch it. It's like a couple of hours long. It was a pretty good debate. So today the stream is different. Today the stream is all about you guys in the chat. We don't have a pre-planned topic. We haven't chosen any topic to discuss today. The topic that we'll be discussing today, or the topics that we'll be discussing today, are the topics that you guys are going to send us in the chat. You guys are going to ask us questions, and we're going to try to answer them together here as a panel. Now, just to be fair, I will be giving priorities to super chats. If anybody wants to send in a super chat, you get priority. If you don't, you wait your turn, and your question will be addressed and will be answered. I want to say big up to my panelists, Couch Critic, Eric Blue, and Kasim. How you all doing?
Yo, you get a nice little fix up, man. Gave up himself for the show, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Listen. The problem is when you use a HD camera, it kind of makes it look worse than it is. So, lower resolution camera today, and I shaved. Big up to Boogeyman. How you doing, my man? And big up to MDT Mo. Big up to everyone. You guys good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys doing? Couch.
Doing great. Listen, guys, today, if a question is addressed to a specific panelist, then they will get priority in answering the question. If the question is general, then we will all have a crack at it. But if it's specifically to a panelist, then we will give that panelist the ownership of the question. If he gets us into a discussion, it gets us into a discussion. But the questions are either going to be directed to a panelist or they're going to be general. And lads, we're waiting for your first question. And we start with the super chat. Big up to Wise Guy. I know MC put in a question, We're gonna go with this super chat. Do you? We're starting heavy. Do you think fans have player agendas, and if so, why? Now, I'm guessing you are referring to if players have favoritism towards a specific player, and if they do, why do they do that?
Can I grab that quick? I'd love to touch on that.
You can go ahead. Firstly, Wise Guy, big up to you, and thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Dennis, take it away, mate.
Well, first of all, I don't think that that's true about anyone on this panel here. I don't think that anyone has any sort of like agenda. I think that we all just enjoy football, enjoy Chelsea Football Club, and trying to objectively, put forth our ideas about how we want to see them play football. Having said that, I think across the fan base there is a lot of player agenda, like a lot of it, and it just basically comes down to the fact that so many people that we see on social media and stuff like that have built up this persona, and it's based on one player or another player. And what they tend to do is, even when somebody does well, you don't see them on social media, but when their player doesn't do well, they're there to defend them and back them up. And it's just because of their personas online. Like everyone's guarded about how they're viewed online and how they're interpreted and whatnot. So the whole ecosystem of the Chelsea fan base online has become so toxic the last little while, and it's mainly just down to the fact that we have a lot of these like fan shows, reaction shows, and whatnot, and people get to voice their opinions very much like we do here today. And a lot of that leads to polarization. Like if I like Mason Mount, I can't say anything negative against Mason Mount ever. And if you don't like Mason Mount, if you say anything against him, I'm going to attack you relentlessly. That's been the whole culture for I don't know how long now. It's been really toxic, and I'm sure most people here have seen some other platforms, the exact same thing, some other like streams that are exactly the same. Here we're just a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more controlled. We get our ideas out, we go back and forth, and we try to just like give our opinions based on what we see on the pitch. But I just feel like everywhere else you go, last little while, it's very much agenda based. What do you guys think, though?
Good point. Eric, before I let you take a crack at this, I want to say a big up to Bobby. Welcome to the stream, Bobby.
Hi guys. Hi.
How you doing, Bobby?
I'm trying to hang on. I've been having some problems with my device. So at the moment, until I change it's not lasting too long.
Okay.
I'll try and hang in there, but if I cut out, just know that it's overheated and gone for the day.
No worries, Bobby. I'll let Eric jump in on this, and then I'll give it. I'll have it open for everyone else to address. Eric, your thoughts?
Yeah. How's everyone doing? I missed the last stream. Yeah. Just to add to what Mr. Couch was saying, I don't think it's the same thing to say. I mean, I guess you can say they're similar, but when you mentioned favoritism, Kasim, I don't think it's the same because, favoritism, I think a lot of people have favoritism. There are players you like more than other players, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think the main issue with people having agendas is they're not able to be objective. They're not able to, they refuse to change their opinions about certain players. So nothing that Werner will do, for example, will make any certain people change their mind about him. They just want him out of the club. They want him out. It's done. It's over. And that's the main issue with people who have agendas. If I have a favorite, so for example, Callum Hudson-Odoi is a player I like a lot. I generally don't have favorites, but I believe that he's a player with a lot of potential. He's very talented. He has more potential than some other players. But I'm not going to, overlook a poor performance. I'm not going to see him not doing what he could do and then say, because I like him, I'll just ignore what he did or what he didn't do right. I'm not going to do that. And that's the main difference. So people who there's nothing wrong with having favorites or people you like more than others. But for me, personally, it's based on performance. And if I like a player like Lukaku, for example, if I like Lukaku, which I do, but he doesn't perform well, then I can, criticize him without, the fact that he performed poorly and I criticize him doesn't change the fact that I still like him, So that's the main thing for me. People are not, they refuse to be objective. They refuse to be, impartial with the way they look at things. I'm not particularly fond of Jorginho, for example, but I like him as a person, not that much as a player. I have a preference of what I want to see in that midfield, but you probably wouldn't know that if I didn't tell you, because
That's true.
I look at the performances and I rate it according to what I'm seeing, and I don't say, oh yeah, because I don't like him, therefore even if he did something good, I'll just overlook it. No, same thing with Werner. Werner is a player that I've been very frustrated with, which I'm sure most people have, a lot of people have, but I'm not going to overlook some very good performances he's had. So for me, that's the main thing. People just refuse to be impartial.
Okay, you both have addressed the agendas situation quite well, but I want to know why. Why is this happening? Can someone address the why part of the question?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about it because I don't have too much feelings. I've been told that many times, but I feel like people are just too sensitive these days. Lukaku is transferred to Chelsea. I didn't like it. Yeah, good. So someone like it, and one day I say Lukaku is not good, and or someone start saying some good thing about Lukaku, then I say no, Lukaku is not good. The person feelings is hurting. Then as he just trying to look at which player I like. As soon as that player comes, like okay, that player is not good. Also, it's not even critical. It's not even constructive critics anymore. It's more like you heard my feelings. Now I'm just waiting for you to point out the player you like, and I'm going after that player, and we just creating division instead of in the Chelsea fan base. That's all. That's all it is. Like at the end of the day, as much as I say something bad about this player, if Chelsea win, I'm happy. And me, I don't take it too personal. Other people, just because of social media and everything, it's more the image they wanted to project on social media. If that image is hurting, then they cannot handle it, so they come back and try to bite you. That's what it is. I mean, that's how I see it, anyways.
So it has a certain amount of envy, certain amount of jealousy, and certain amount of
people cannot handle criticism in public. Like this is public already for a lot of people.
Yeah,
It's if someone come up with something like if they think the reason why I like this panel is we all have other stuff to deal with. We have family. We don't take those things too personal. But then you jump to other panels. That's all they have. They don't have family. That's this. They breathe this. They eat this. That's all they do. So when you heard their feelings, they don't sleep. Me, I have other stuff that keep me awake. So they don't sleep. So they come back. They all trying to fight about. They don't forget. They will never forget. They come back at you. So that's the problem. I think so. That's the difference about this panel. That's why I like this panel. We all have other issue dealing with. Like if I say something right now and I feel like MDT is hurting, I will wait a little, give him some time to breathe in, and I will say, yo, if it hurt you, sorry. Because that's the only thing that bothers me, because I feel like, okay, this is a friend I'm making, and I don't want him to feel hurting. It's because I have other stuff to deal with. I don't care about it. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel anyways. Because me, I have no feeling.
Spot on. MDT, you wanted to address this? Yeah, the why bit?
Yeah, I think it's scary now because I like the engagement online on some media. I think the young fans are more attached to players than the club, and that's the thing. And I don't want to throw this here there, boys. Like, you remember basketball players? A lot of people used to support Chicago Bulls because of Michael Jordan. As soon as he left, Bulls lost all their supporters. So it's kind of like how do I call it? Is it like a globalization way of supporting, or something like a franchise, or something like a star? It become an individual sport, which is football is not. It's not a tennis. It's not golf. It's a team sport. So I think everybody looking at who was at fault when a game goes wrong. Yes, everybody's fault. It's like blaming individual. I don't remember growing up blaming player for anything like that. I can't recall. So I think it's just the new. Yeah, I cannot recall having a Chelsea. I used to like. I have favorite in Chelsea team, but I cannot ever remember not liking a player or disliking a player so much, because I remember some of my favorite players, like when Claudio Ranieri get rid of, remember, Dennis Wise and Jody Morris and replace them with Emmanuel Petit. I was not happy, but as soon as Petit and Frank Lampard came, automatically they become a Chelsea player. So it was never like I want this guy to fail or whatever. But this new age of things, it's like people just hold on to a player. The player become a symbol of them failing or successing. If that player failed, that means that they are wrong. If the player failed, if the player succeed, that means they are right. It's like everybody want to prove the other person, like, oh yeah, you see what I said. Like everybody want to be right. It's not like that. I don't care who is right, who is wrong. If Chelsea is doing well, I don't care about that. I don't even care about which player score goals. You know. So I think now we support more the individual first, then the club second, and the team third, rather than supporting the club, the team, and the individual. The individuals will always come last. I don't care how a player play if Chelsea is winning. I will only criticize that player if I think the team is not winning and it's affecting the team. For me, that's how I see sport. You can be critic of an individual, but sometimes people take these things to personal, to heart, and it's like it becomes a individual player fan club rather than team.
I think it's a matter of criticism going too far, because we can. I mean, every game we watch, we praise and criticize the performance of certain players, but that is it. That is it. In that match, on that page, that's the performance, and that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the player. We're talking about the performance, the fitness, the skill, the technique. That's what we talk about. And I think once you go beyond that, then that's when you get into what is referred to these days as agendas. People in the chat, you're allowed to ask any question you want addressed, whether it's to do with Chelsea today, Chelsea tomorrow, Chelsea yesterday, players, systems. Ask away, okay? It's an open discussion for you all today. I'm going to give Bobby and Kasim a couple of minutes each on this question before we move on to the next one. Kasim, do you want to address this?
Yeah, I cannot agree more with everyone. They addressed it very, very well. People need to understand. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm not any player fan. I'm not here to please anyone. When I see things in my way, I try to address it. I am behind Lukaku 100%. I'm behind Ziyech 100% because they are Chelsea players. But if they're not performing, I'm here or elsewhere to criticize them. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? That's how I've been brought up. I see things and I say the truth, and that's in my eyes, is the truth. I could be right, I could be wrong, but that's how I say it. You get my point? It doesn't mean I'm a Lukaku out, Ziyech out, Werner out. Because don't forget, guys, these people is only human. A lot of people criticize Lukaku, yeah. A lot of people criticize Werner, yeah. But you need to understand, they're in the business and social media, they're going to get criticized if they're not performing. That's what they do for a living. That's like you going to work, and if you're not doing your job properly, you know the boss is going to come for you. You get my point? But in a big scale, because in the social media, if Lukaku's not performing, if he's performing, I give him his flower. If he's not, I'm going to criticize him. It's nothing personal, mate. I'm a Chelsea fan. ultimately. Because I tell you something, Lukaku gonna come and go, Ziyech gonna come and go, Werner gonna come and go. Chelsea Football Club is gonna always stand, and always. That's it. That's what I want to say. It's nothing personal. So when I talk about anyone or criticize anyone, people need to understand why I'm criticizing for. Nothing personal. That's what I want to say, mate.
Yep, true. Big up to you. Bobby, your thoughts on this question, mate?
Well, yeah. I mean, it does. There is a change. People like me that have supported Chelsea for so many decades and have been followed football, English football for so many decades, have noticed a big change, and the change has come with the change in society. This may not be popular, but I'm used to saying unpopular things, so-called. We are now this sort of wishy-washy, over-liberalized feelings society. And this has transpired, unfortunately, into the simple sport that is football, such that the culture that was there, that was the foundation of football, where football clubs were just tribes, and you were a member of that tribe. So much so, I mean, back in the day, some people took that to extreme and went to war for their tribe. But the fact is, that same culture was there. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to collect cards and stickers with footballers' images on. And you would save up, or you would swap with your friends at school if you didn't have Ian Hutchinson, or just to tell you how far back I go, or who can I say, Pat Nevin, players like that. And yes, we love the players.
Bobby, you are old school, man.
I go back some way. Yes, we love the players, but I'll tell you something. I as I said, my foundation is Hayes.
Was internet there back then, Bobby?
No, there was no internet. Absolutely not. I can still remember the old dial-ups and things like that when the internet first started, but that's another story. But I was born and raised pretty close to where the Wilkins family came from, and they were pretty big in my part of Hayes in those days, and we adored them. We all looked up to them, and I remember Ray Wilkins when he first captained Chelsea at the age of 18. Wilkins was a massive favourite of ours. But I tell you what, when Chelsea sold him because they had to, and he went to Man United, that was it. It hurt, but he was no longer in the picture. That shows just how much you could actually have a brother who plays for the club, and then once he leaves, he's out of it. You're still in it for the club. But nowadays, I don't think we have that sort of fan base anymore. We have a few, but then we have these people that, well, I don't know where they got it from. Some of them, because they didn't understand the culture in the first place, weren't really brought up with it. Some of them, because they come from this sort of wishy-washy, liberal sort of feelings. Oh, let me try and be with the club, but really, all I'm about is the players. There's all sorts of things. I spend some time on Twitter with amusement with some of the things I see, with some of the people that call themselves football fans. But it is what it is. You have to take it. That's life. There are changes that take place, and you hope that the foundation that is the club that you once knew can keep going for as long as it can. Sadly, all good things come to an end, and one day something's going to burst this bubble. I don't see football as we know it and love it lasting very long. I don't see it lasting longer than 10 years. And after that, it will just be an awful mess. And the true fans will walk away. It'll become this sort of commercial joke, commercial liberalized joke, and that's where most of these things are going. Unfortunately, I'm usually not somebody that brings out too many negatives, but sometimes you have to embrace reality.
Can
I just?
I totally agree. Eric, you want to address this new question, or do you want to address the old question?
I wanted to conclude the old question about why, just in a few seconds. Yeah, I think it's because of I don't know why exactly, but it's something to do with the toxic. People just like to be negative, on social media. I'm not sure. On Twitter, it seems like people just like to be negative. Maybe they like the attention of the negativity, and people are entitled as well. For me, I think when a player performs poorly, it's fair enough to criticize them, but when people criticize them and then at them, go on their Twitter accounts and at them and say, "Oh, look how bad you were today," I think that's just a very clear example of people being very entitled. So that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily based in hurt feelings as much as it is just you want your ego just takes a bruising, right? You want to be in a position where your opinion is unassailable, right? And it's just impossible. It's just an impossible position to be in.
It's a matter of I'm right and everybody else is wrong, and I can't accept it other way around.
Ego.
And it creates how they call it, buzz, isn't it? French people call it buzz, isn't it? It creates this it creates that buzz, the engagement, like the thing, the attention. So some people they love it. Some Chelsea fans they did it intentionally to create buzz, and when they create that. That's what they're doing. They're doing it intentionally to create engagement. And some people are emotionally unstable. They react to it, and then it become a bigger issue than it should be. It should, So we have to be careful. It's a clickbait.
It's all about exactly. It's all about the clicks. It's all about the clicks.
And the other thing is,
I wanna. Sorry, Couch. We spent half an hour on one question, and if we do that, we're not going to answer a lot of questions today. So I want to give the other questions some time as well. I want to address this one, and it's I want to change it a little bit. I hope local Costa doesn't mind. I'm gonna address it in this way. Would Thomas Tuchel make your top 3 all-time Chelsea managers? We'll start with Bobby.
Yeah, this is a good one. I think potentially he can. Thomas Tuchel has really started in the enviable position of winning the Champions League. Now, people may turn around and say, "Oh, Robbie Di Matteo did it. In fact, he did the double, Champions League, FA Cup double, which was a fantastic achievement, and dare I say, a slightly lucky achievement." But you need luck as a manager. The difference with Thomas Tuchel is that he is a genius of a coach. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And if he does the almost unthinkable and wins the Premier League this season, then surely he has to walk into the Chelsea Managers Hall of Fame because, he's got the big prizes and that's non-negotiable. So, yes, at the moment, I'll say potentially he still has to get some. I mean, at the moment, he's just got 2 trophies relatively. He still has to get some more big ones. I mean, if he hits the Premier League this season, my goodness.
Yeah. No, I agree. Boogeyman?
To keep it simple, is an absolute no for me. He's not part of the top Chelsea manager. I mean, listen, we have Carlo Ancelotti and Mourinho. The list goes on and goes on. I mean, I understand he won the Champions League. I understand we're playing good football, but it's still way, 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 way too early for me to think Tuchel is among the top Chelsea manager. So that would be my point. I don't think, for me, he's nowhere close to it at this point. Like Bobby may suggest if he won the Premier League this season, then maybe we start talking about being one of the top Chelsea managers. But as it is right now, no, it's absolutely no for me.
Okay. MDT?
Yes, I agree with that. I don't think it's not close yet. The Champions League is a knockout phase. He's coached for six games, and we won it, which is a brilliant achievement. But Mourinho, what he did, and also Ancelotti with that double, which is our first in our history, if I'm not mistaken. And then not to forget, Robbie Di Matteo with Eddie Newton. We shouldn't forget that. Eddie Newton was part of the team. What they did, they break a dog that Chelsea been fighting for 10 years. That's what opened up. That's what made Chelsea to the top table. That's whatever. Although he's not a good tactician like Tuchel, but what he did for Chelsea in that 3 months, without that, we'll not be talking about 2 European champions or whatever. So for me, I still think he's there. If Tuchel win the Premier League, he's ahead of Di Matteo, definitely. But as for now, it's not tactical. It's more to do with what they've achieved for Chelsea so far.
Does anybody think that Tuchel is in the top 3 right now?
No, I kind of echo what these guys are saying, and I'd actually even go even further. I would say, as much as he is a brilliant manager and a guy that has molded this squad in his image and taken, like, he still has to show me that he could sort of like adjust his tactics to suit the players that he has within the squad. Like right now, what he's done is he's found players that work within his system and kind of like tailored his system to them. But even Conte, look like what Conte, like we can say what we want. Like he took his system and made players that we would never think would function within it look fantastic in it. You know, we're talking about Alonso, Moses, I don't know, like excuse me. Sorry.
I can't.
I'm choking on my words right now, but I'm hoping you guys understand what I'm saying.
I can't have given you my virus because I'm like really far away from you. I know on the screen we look really close. Yeah. I've got a cold, but yeah, you're like 4,000 kilometers away. Is it 7,000 kilometers away?
I was just choking on my words. I apologize. But yeah, I just think that he's got a ways to go still. Just because, while I do, like I said, I do think that he sees the game a way that I really enjoy it. Like I think when you hear him talk about football, and I see the way the team responds to his management, I think he's burgeoning on being one of our greatest ever managers. But again, the true litmus test is always going to be the Premier League, right? It's always going to be the Premier League. Until you get a Premier League title, you can't really, ascend to the ranks of best manager ever. Right now, he's kind of like, if you look at it like from like how like youth players can't win Player of the Year, they have to win Youth Player of the Year or something like that. He's basically won the Youth Player of the Year version of a trophy because he won the Champions League. It's a weird analogy. I agree. The Champions League is a top trophy you could win, really. But like he has to now win the Premier League in order to become a true great. If you know what I mean.
Yep, I agree. Chelsea boy 1234 is asking, will Chelsea be buying a CDM in January? I'll rephrase, should Chelsea buy a CDM in January? Who wants to take this question?
I'll go ahead if that's okay. The answer is difficult. It's not so obvious, but based on what I've seen so far this season, I would say no. We already have a lot of midfielders. We have Saul, we have Loftus-Cheek. There's enough cover there. So, and we play double pivots, which Tuchel likes a double pivot. I think he's played that everywhere he's been. So it's unlikely that we'll get a DM. But if we're talking about like, next season, the season after that, maybe, probably, but the summer is very unlikely. Sorry, January. It's January.
Can I just add to that as well? In January, that busy period, Christmas, January, February time, when you got two games a week, I think we're more lightweight in the striker position. We need a second striker. So we got first striker, which is Lukaku. If he get injured or for some reason is not playing, we need a second striker. So as Eric said, we're right in the midfield. But I think second we were light in the front. And can I just address the point about Thomas Tuchel? I think Thomas Tuchel this year, he's the best manager we ever have. If we won the Premier League, if he won the Club Super Cup, and he won the Charity Shield, which Man City just been kicked out, and the FA Cup, because the Champions League is equivalent to 2 league, in my opinion. So if he goes this year and won the Premier League and won the Club World Cup, and he just won the Super Cup, he's there, guys, in my opinion.
All right. This question here by Tobago. Do you think Chelsea can break the record of less goals in a season? The 15 goals conceded in a season, a record, I believe. Do you guys think we can do it this season?
No, no, definitely not. We talked about this in another stream. I remember when Kasim was talking about it, and I think you were saying you think we can do it, but it only takes one game. One game we concede 2 or 3, and all of a sudden, it's not going to happen. Like it's very unlikely. I don't believe it will happen. I said many times that I don't believe that record will ever get broken. I think that is one of those records that you just don't break. I don't think it will even get equaled, personally.
We are what, 3 goals in how many? In 8?
10, I think.
11?
10 now.
No, 10. No, I mean in
the Premier League, right? 9.
Yeah. 9. Yeah, 9. Yeah.
Okay,
to be honest, I will echo exactly what Eric Blow said. I don't think it is possible that we will beat that record. So I think we will concede more than 15 goals this season.
10. We've conceded 3 in 10 matches.
I mean, if you do the maths, like you just said, if you do the math, 3 in 10, so that's 6 in 20, 9 in 30, and then maybe we just about get 15.
Yeah, the problem I see is, if you remember the game against Brentford, is that game we won that game, yeah. But has anybody check Mendy face, if that face is not full of bruises? Like we need to be honest. Like those type of save is not gonna happen every day. And the Premier League is a different animal at this point. Any team, depending on how they come in, can just create problem. And red card, the referee also added. I don't think we'll be able to. There's too many stuff that can happen.
Yes.
Goals
it's football. It's football. There's too many variables. It's too unpredictable. So. Yeah.
So I don't
Unlikely.
That's my opinion.
Can I quickly address the previous question, just because I think that there's something else to be had there. When you bring somebody in January, first of all, I think that Tuchel already has his set midfielders. He has 4 guys that he really depends on: Kovačić, Jorginho, Conte, and now Ruben Loftus-Cheek ascended to that sort of like foursome as well in a major way. Like, who are you going to bring in that's going to displace any of those guys? If you're bringing anybody in, you'd probably want to bring in rotation. And rotation at this point in January, where he's not going to be playing, is just not valuable. As far as like the defensive record, it's just too hard to fathom. I can't imagine a team being as steely as the one we had previously in 2004 or 2005. But I mean, we don't really. The one thing that is for certain under Tuchel, and I've been saying it for a while now, we don't really concede a lot of high danger opportunities. And when you mean what is classified as high danger is like, basically 1v1 with the keeper type situations. So it's unlikely. I'm of the opinion it's unlikely, but it's not improbable. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I think with that season, we concede 2. In the first 10, we only concede 2. So we are on pace. I'm not going to say it's not possible. But the only thing that will make it possible is red card. If we don't have any sending off, because what happened is the way we play as defense, even that season, what happened is strikers, when they face our defense, they were panicking because they think they were only going to get 1 or 2 chances. When a striker think that they're not going to get more chance, they're anxious. So it put them off. So that's working on our favor. And against Brentford, everybody is saying Brentford create chances. All of Brentford's chances came from set piece. They didn't go through our defense or whatever. It was set plays, throw in, long free kick from their goalkeeper, flick-ons, and we didn't have our defenders. Thiago wasn't playing, Rudiger wasn't playing. So that's an anomaly. I don't count that's an anomaly. It can happen if Tuchel make changes and we have injuries again. But I believe if we have our set defense, there is a high probability that we can do it. But I'm not saying it's going to be tough. But it takes red card, it takes us having our proper defense, because strikers now they're anxious when they're facing Chelsea.
Hello.
Which work in our favor.
Yeah, not only that. I just going to mute. Cool. Couch. Yeah. Not only that, but I think towards the end of the season, we are likely to concede more goals because of the fatigue and the intensity of the competitions that we're in. So we need to be quite good up until the last 10 games. I don't think it's a matter of 3 goals every 10 games. That is our benchmark, but it's doable. It's doable definitely. CFC Stephen is asking thoughts on Rudiger. Will he stay or will he go? Quick touch on this from you guys. I know we talked about this a lot in the past. Quickly, your feelings in respect to this, your information in respect to this. Is Rudiger staying or is he leaving? I'll start with Boogeyman.
I have a mixed feeling when it comes to Rudiger. I think he's going to stay. That's what I think. Because I just feel like he's enjoying his time at Chelsea, and I also feel like Tuchel will do everything he can to keep Rudiger, because the feeling I got from Tuchel is he would like to succeed, because he kept saying in most of his press conferences or even those documentary or those interview that Chelsea, I cannot dream about a better team or a better place to be than coaching Chelsea. And he knows for sure he does not want to create any crisis in his defense, because he has a lot to do to fix our attack right now. And just based on that, we may not see a lot of what's going on behind the curtains, but I think Tuchel will do all he can and to keep Rudiger. Just that reason, I believe Rudiger will stay. And Rudiger most of the times look happy. And the few things I read about Rudiger, and he's like, I'm not going to talk too much. You just have to see my face to know how I feel about Chelsea. So for me, I think he will stay.
Yeah, I think he'll stay as well. And I hope so.
Anybody
to be fair,
leaving?
No, I think he will stay, because the reason why also, not only that, he gets along very, very well with the young players, especially the Mount, the whatever. He criticized them though. He's very hard on them, but they love him for that. So he loves it here. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure the chances of him going is getting lower and lower and lower. So unless something happens, but I think he will stay.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't have a doubt once Rudiger will go. I don't think so. From the beginning, I believe he will stay. World-class player. I believe Thomas Tuchel had a massive influence in the decision. He rate him. He trusts him. He's German like him. They speak the same language. And he's number one in the ship with Mendy. So how can be number one in the ship with Mendy, starting every game, and all of a sudden you go? It won't go anywhere, mate. He's a world-class player and he stay. Chelsea knows that as well.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to come down to whether or not Chelsea wants to keep him, right? And I don't know what Rudiger's intentions are at this point. Like, coming like, yeah, the bridge was burned under Frank. Like, that could very well be true. He could just be playing out his contract and playing at a level that is next level because he wants a bigger contract with another club. He wants to show his worth there. It's not necessarily down to Chelsea at this point as much as it is down to Chelsea or Rudiger. Rudiger can just say, here, I don't want to be here anymore, and that's the end of that. So I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm waffling here because I don't necessarily have an opinion one way or the other. But if I was a betting man, I'd probably say that he stays because I want him to. But my head and my heart aren't in the same place right now.
All right, I've got a super chat here. I've just seen it. Sorry for picking it up so late, Ali. Ali Lowett. He's asking, who is your favorite Chelsea player of all time? Who is your favorite Chelsea player of all time? I'm going to add to that why. So tell me who is and why he is your favorite Chelsea player of all time. I'm going to start with Bobby. I haven't heard anything from Bobby for a little minute. Bobby, who's your favorite Chelsea player of all time and why?
That's got to be about the most unfair question I've ever had, because we've had so many heroes. So many heroes, it's hard to say. Oh my gosh, that's a difficult one. That is a difficult one. Oh gosh. Okay. It's only because it's a question that is prompting an answer. And I have to go for who was the most consistent, probably the most successful, and as a player, perhaps the most understated, and probably should have been our captain instead of vice captain during the time he played. It's got to be Frank Lampard for me, and that doesn't take anything away from any other of Chelsea's great heroes at all. But Frank really has got to be perhaps the most decorated Chelsea player of all time, and I'll put him ahead of John Terry simply because he played the Champions League final with the armband and Terry didn't. He played the Europa League final with the armband as well. So he was there at those major pivotal points. He scored consistently from midfield 20 goals a season. He never gave anything less than a 7.5 out of 10 every time he took to the field. Frank was an absolutely amazing player, and it will take some beating for anybody to say that there was a better player than him at Chelsea.
Fair enough. Kasim.
Look, that's my opinion, yeah. Come on, guys, yeah. I think best player I ever seen in his position in my lifetime is N'Golo Kante. I'm going with Kante. N'Golo Kante, the best player ever played for Chelsea. He will play for Chelsea, in my opinion. And his attitude is a winner, national team winning, World Cup winning, Champions League winning, Premier League winner with Chelsea and Leicester. What he produced in the football pitch is the attitude absolutely top class. And it's just, guys, when he plays, it's like 2 or 3 men playing in that midfielder. His passion, his aggression, considering he's only 5'6", 5'5". The best player I ever seen in my lifetime in his position is N'Golo Kante. So N'Golo Kante for me.
All right. Eric.
Okay, first of all, this is a very harsh question. It's a very difficult question to answer.
Yeah, it is true.
I could name like 6-7 players, but
I can name a whole squad.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, you could name a whole squad. Okay, my favorite Chelsea player, it has to be Hazard. Yeah, I think he was a player who dragged us through a lot of matches. He helped us win games that we didn't deserve to win. He got us points that we didn't deserve to get, and I just feel like part of it is I feel that he underachieved for Chelsea. He could have done more, if the situation around him was better, if the team was structured in a different way. And I think despite all of those things, he still managed to achieve a lot with Chelsea. I think he's Chelsea's most talented ever player. That might be controversial for some people, but it's my opinion. Yeah, I think he has to be. It's not obviously it's very close, but I have to go for Hazard.
All right. I mean, so far all the players that have been mentioned are great players. Couch.
The player that brought me to Chelsea was Jimmy Floyd, because I was a big Dutch fan. But my favorite footballer, and it's more just because of what he does on and off the pitch, is Didier Drogba. And it's not a hard choice. I'm sure everyone can see why. Like, the guy stops civil wars. He goes beyond football for me. And yeah, of course, you look at the cup finals. Like, how many times did that guy step up and deliver for us? Like, I can go on forever, and I'm sure that I'm basically just stating stuff that everyone already knows. It's Didier Drogba for a number of reasons, but mainly for me because of what he did on and off the pitch.
Fair enough. Boogeyman?
Can I pass this question? But listen, Eric Blue.
It's a super chat. You have to answer it, man. It's a super chat. You have to answer
Oh
it.
yeah, they got put money on top of it, right? Eric Blue has talked about Hazard, so yeah. Listen, I remember that when I was young, my father used to talk about. I watch his videos. Peter Osgood, and I watch a few of his videos, and because every time I talk about Didier Drogba and all Hasselbank, he's like, do you even know who is Peter Osgood? Go check his videos. So then I'll go check, and I go, whatever. So listen, and I end up like him because he scored a lot of goals. He's really tall also, so I'll say he will be my favorite because Eric Blue has chosen Hazard.
All right. Oh, that's cheating, but we'll take it. Yeah. MDT.
Well, it's difficult. It's unfair as well, but I don't have a choice. I have to choose because I have quite a few. I'm not going to choose the guy that make me support Chelsea. I'm going to choose the guy that even opposition, you will not find anybody anywhere that will say a bad word about him. Not his football, not his politeness, not his civility, not his skill. Nobody question anything like that. Gianfranco Zola.
I knew you were going there. I knew it.
Yeah. I was surprised we haven't heard his name yet.
Yeah, he changed the face. People are what he did. Chelsea were always hated, but that guy, you will not find anybody anywhere that hates him. Not opposition, not media. He represents the club to the most respectful way. And just what Zola did for Chelsea, that was before Roman. That was you remember Chelsea didn't win the FA Cup since the 70s, isn't it? When Zola's came and them lot came in, they started the winning mentality. Now that is in Chelsea, it started with them. So I will take Zola as my favorite ever Chelsea player so far, and I don't think anybody will change that. It doesn't matter how many goals anybody score or anything. For me, he's my favorite.
Yeah, Zola is a legend, a proper Chelsea legend. The player that I will say is my favorite Chelsea player of all time is
Ziyech.
No. It's the flip side. It's the flip side to Zola. You see, Zola. You said nobody will have a bad word to say about him. The player that I loved to watch growing up.
Man Costa,
No. Who?
Costa, Diego Costa.
No. Even this guy was even worse than Costa. He was pre-Costa.
Casman, baby.
It's Wise.
Dennis Wise.
Yeah.
Dennis Wise, and the fights and the troubles that he used to put on. the fight and the energy and the grit, the mind games that he used to play with the opposition midfielders. Just ask Paul Scholes and them, man. You know how much they loved him. You know, this guy, Nicky Butt. He had some. It was Nicky Butt. It was Nicky Butt that he used to have fights with, and you know, he'd foul Nicky Butt, and then Nicky Butt gets sent off. You know, he'd do things like that. So you know, Dennis Wise for me was a brilliant player, and it was because of his feistiness. I'm not going to say nastiness, I'll say feistiness. But yeah, Dennis Wise is for me. Ali Louette, thank you for the super chat. There's a few questions. I'm not going in order anymore because we stopped. Let me just see who else we got here. Do you think? How far do you think we'll make it in the Champions League this season? Open to everyone. Anyone can jump in on this.
I'll say semi-final.
We're not winning it? We're not going to win it?
No.
For me, I think if we avoid Ajax and Bayern Munich, we can go all the way to the final. Those are the only two teams that are unpredictable. I don't like unpredictable teams, especially with Ajax. Like I said, if a team is not predictable, I don't like them because they can surprise you. And those are the only two teams that they can finish you in 15 minutes, or you can have a good game. So those are the only two teams I think that will give us hard time this season.
What do you get?
I think Chelsea got a chance, you know.
If we avoid those two, if we avoid those two, we can get to the final.
Yeah. I'm worried about. I said that before. I'm worried about Bayern Munich, but I think Chelsea's got a massive chance to win it again. You know, when you look at the team, Liverpool playing well in the Champions League. I'm not sure about City. Bayern Munich lost. They lost 5-1 last week or
5-2?
Lost 5-1.
5-3.
Was it 5-3?
No, 5-1. I believe it's 5-1.
No, they scored two.
No, 5-0. 5-0. They didn't score anything.
Yeah, so they are exceptional thing, but you know, yeah, come on.
I was looking at the game during the game, and I noticed that they scored two. The other keep scored two.
No, that's it. No, he's talking about the loss. They lost 5-0 in the Pokal.
Yeah, they lost 5-0.
Okay, good. Sorry.
They lost. Is it? Yeah, the Borussia Mönchengladbach or something. They lost 5-1 or something, 5-0. So they can be. But Bayern Munich worrying. But I can see Chelsea with big chance. I think Chelsea have got big chance to go away. I really do.
If you ask me, I think we have a pretty strong team, and even if we get injuries, the game we're playing is always depend on what we do. Like no team tend to impose any style on us. So I still think, and we never have any injury that take more than 2 or 3, 4 months. Like nobody break their legs, nobody has like those ACL torn like Michael Essien used to have, and all those things. We seem to have a pretty stable and a pretty young team, and they're all conditioned one way or the other. So I think we're going all the way to the final, and if not, win it again. I'm not even scared of Bayern. I know they're good, but I'm not scared of them because we have one of the most stable defenses. What exactly Gnabry and Lewandowski are going to do to us if we put Thiago Silva and all those people together? I don't think they faced any defense as stable as Chelsea yet. So I'm not worried at all.
I don't think making an analogy of injuries, long-term injuries, is really too relevant. I mean, it's like saying, Messi hasn't broken his leg and been out for a whole season, or Lewandowski is always fit for Bayern. I mean, it's more to me that this sort of question cannot be answered until the quarterfinal stage. It is impossible to even. I mean, even if we guess, it's like licking your fingers and putting it up in the air to see which way the wind will blow. You know, it can blow anyway. So at this stage,
Bobby,
it's not a question.
Bobby, would it be fair to say? That if we don't make it at least the quarterfinals, it would be disappointing?
Yes, that would be fair to say.
Yeah.
I think if we don't get to at least the quarterfinals, of course it will be disappointing because we're the holders. And as the holders, you know, you've got to put up a good fight to keep your trophy. That trophy is ours. It belongs to us. You've got to take it from us. You know what I mean? So we've got to go there. You know, you don't give that sort of thing up easily. So at least the quarterfinal stage for us should be what we're aiming at. Anything less than that, yes, it would be very disappointing. But to say, you know, who's going to win it before that stage of the competition, I don't think it's a right question. You know, lots of sometimes favourites get knocked out in the second round. So no, I can't say anybody's favourite at all until that stage.
But I think minimum ambitions should be for us to reach the quarterfinals. That's how I see it. Laz, I want you to address this question. This question by Brian. And by the way, Brian, I read your comment on the last video. Some very good points there. You did some research for that comment, so big up to you. Brian is asking. He says Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic, Gilmour and Gallagher on loan. Chelsea monitoring Brozovic, Rice, Tchouameni, Bellingham. With all the mids currently on roster, loaned and linked to who stays next year. So he's put all the names that are currently with the squad out on loan and are being looked at by Chelsea. Ideally, who should we have in our midfield roster next year? Keeping in mind all these variables and options that we should have.
Can I go first with this one?
Yeah,
This is a
Bobby.
nice one.
If you can give me the players and then give me your reasoning.
Well, the players that should come in.
The players that we should have on our roster next season, and the reasoning behind it from all these names you have in the question.
In midfield. Because I can't really see the question very well. I told you I'm on a strange device. Okay, I can see. Well, Ruben for sure, Gallagher for sure, Kante, Ruben, Gallagher, Kante, Kovacic, and I will go as far as Georgie, perhaps one more season. That's what I'd have.
So you would look at
Gilmour,
Brozovic, Rice, or Tchouameni, Bellingham, or Gilmour. All these don't make your starting squad next season.
Gilmour, no, he needs another year on loan. No. He wanted to go down the loan route, so he's got to stick to that and make his way that way. And he's got to prove himself because right now he's not done it. Gallagher's been on loan three times in fact, and each time he has always proved himself. The cream always rises to the top. I'm not sure. I mean, the only reason I would look at somebody like Tchouameni or Rice at this current point in time is because of this issue of Ruben and injuries. You know, Ruben, as I always say, this is the ultimate midfielder. The longer he's fit, the more games he plays, the better he will be. I eventually got to watch the game against Malmo. And, you know, there's a lot of added side to his games that were not really mentioned. Apart from by you, Mo, when you said, look, this guy's putting himself about. And boy, did he put himself about. They were getting physical, and he hit back physical. You know, and we missed that in our midfield. We never had anybody that was able to do that. They lost out on a lot of the battle that they brought because of Ruben. There was one guy he challenged. The guy started avoiding Ruben and started targeting the smaller players. He went for Ziyech a couple of times. He went for
the bald guy with the beard.
No, not him. The other, the black guy.
He's trying
I've forgotten his name.
He's Ghanaian, Abdul something.
Yeah, him. You know, the guy, the one with the beard. You know, he
flattened him as well. Ruben flattened him a couple of times.
Yeah, and this other guy, and they were all avoiding Ruben in the end. Now that is, you know, he has everything, but the problem is because he's so big, when he gets hurt badly. So that's why we may need to have a fifth midfielder, somebody that wouldn't mind hanging around on the bench a bit. But as for Gilmour, Gilmour's made his bed now. I think he needs to now go the loan route and see whether he can break through that way. It's not going to be easy. I personally think that was a terrible mistake. He had an opportunity, and he allowed too many voices to get in his head. And all he needed to do was knuckle down and take the best chance. It's a privilege to play in a club like this with the players around you. It really is. And to start to break through, and then you come at the age of 19, 20, start talking about game time. Wow. Go get your game time.
Yeah, well said, Bobby. Well said. Anybody else wants to tackle this question?
Yeah, can I just... I want to... Yeah, come on. Who do you want to go?
Listen, Bobby was a little harsh on my man Billy Gilmour. So that's all I want to say. I just need to criticize someone. So that's it.
Right, you have to say that. You have to dig at someone. Just can't.
No, I don't think Bobby was harsh. I think Bobby was absolutely spot on. I think he's young. He needs the loan. He needs game time. So he didn't do what Foden did for Man City. He stayed there and just train with him and work hard. So that was his choice in the first place. Regards midfielder next year, I really like Declan Rice. I've been watching him recently very closely. I think he's a complete midfielder.
Who would you take out from the squad?
Jorginho.
In Declan Rice.
Jorginho.
You take out Jorginho to bring in Declan Rice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's knocking in 29. If we get 50-60 million, I will sell him, and I'll get Declan Rice. It's going to be cost about 70-80 million. 100%.
Right. But who take our penalties?
I'm not sure. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
Is that your concern there, Eric?
No,
is that your concern? All right, listen. We may be selling the Ballon d'Or winner to bring in Declan Rice. So think about it that way.
And just so when Bobby was listing the midfielder, when he arrived to Jorginho, there was a big hesitation also. Now also Kasim also won Jorginho. Then, I mean, for me, Jorginho is one of the best we have. But the fact that the two people that talk about the midfielder seem to hesitate on Jorginho, I'm not too sure what's going on. But okay, I mean, this is their opinion, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Jorginho. I believe he is vital. He is vital. I wasn't too happy with Jorginho early doors, but he won me over. And the thing is, what Jorginho does is he keeps control of the tempo of the game for Chelsea. He doesn't do a lot when it comes to attacking and creating, but he does do a lot when it comes to controlling games. And a lot of games need a player that can do that. Yes, most of the time, especially this season, we dominate the possession, we dominate the game because we are the champions of Europe, and teams come to play us a little bit hesitant, a little bit tentative. Only those who have a death wish try to attack us, and when they do, they end up losing. So maybe Jorginho isn't as needed this season as he was last season, but doesn't take away from the fact that Jorginho is still one of the best midfielders we have. I don't think his age is a factor.
I was going to talk about that.
No.
I think your opinion comes from the fact that from all of us here, I think you've seen him live. The one time I could have seen him live, he didn't play. but you were there and you actually saw him, because I'm trying to see what he, I always think, can we do without this guy? And I kind of lean towards, okay, yes, if we get someone good enough. I don't know. But yet, sometimes when he's not there, you kind of miss him, then he's there, and he really is a conundrum. If you've seen him in the flesh, I know when you watch a game live, it's a different ball game. True. And then you might start to appreciate what he's done.
What Bobby says too. I watch him many times live. And then
and one thing about this Jorginho thing, the reason why somebody like Pep Guardiola wanted him, that's how Pep Guardiola played at Barcelona. That was his role, exactly like Jorginho. He doesn't assist, he doesn't whatever. All he does is stick things. You see, Busquets doesn't assist, doesn't score, doesn't whatever. That's what he does. Those type of players, they're underrated. They're like what they do on the team. People don't see the tangible they do. You don't see it. But if you ask the teammate and the coach, they will tell you what they do. Because a player that can go anywhere to collect the ball, he relieves everybody. He make it easy for the defenders, the midfielders, not to worry under pressure. Even a goalkeeper, if they're struggling, who do they look for? Jorginho. Mm-hmm. And like people are talking, Declan Rice is not a sitting midfielder for West Ham. He does that for England, but not West Ham. For West Ham is Suchek. Okay. For me, this current midfield that they show,
it's what?
If Chelsea want to sign.
What did he say about West Ham? What is this?
No, West Ham is Suchek. That's it. Not Declan. Declan attack. Declan play more of the 8, like what Rubin is doing, or Gallagher, or whatever. That's what on cover for West Ham. For England, he's the 6. Yes. But not for West Ham. So in the England role, when they play, even against Italy, you saw what Jorginho did, you saw what Rice did. They're two different. Rice cannot play that Jorginho role like Jorginho. He cannot. He won't even. No. He cannot. It's not possible.
Listen,
and also,
I respect everyone.
I want to hear Boogeyman.
The fact is, I listen to everybody when it comes to Jorginho and Kovačić together. It's just the position I used to play is a midfield, and when I see those two guys, I just notice they have way too more than needed. And not only that, you have to watch them live, Kovačić and Jorginho. Like Bobby said, Bobby alluded to something. He hasn't seen Jorginho really live. He only watched on the TV, whatever the camera is showing. Probably 90% of the time, it was not showing Jorginho, it was just following the ball. So when you see Jorginho, his positioning, and the fact, the distribution, how he link up all the players, like it's just amazing to see. And listen, at the end of the day, people are going to have their own opinions, and I will always have mine. It's just he is vital for the Chelsea team. And the good thing is, during the trainings and all those sections they were doing, for some reason, Tuchel comes to the fact that he need him all the time. Because if he was not that good, the training, he will not be the one on the playing all the time that position. He's not physical. Just look at him in Italy team. Even when you move it to another team, he is still dictating the tempo. So he's just way too good.
Boogeyman, nobody dispute his ability, mate. Nobody dispute his ability. Jorginho, a fantastic player, is going to 29, stroke 30. But Jorginho in the big game, when he get pressed, I've got an issue with that. That's the only point I'm trying to make. And don't forget something as well. He's going to 30 years old, and Kanté, 30 years old as well. You can't have them all 30s, mate.
Kassim,
the way Jorginho play, Jorginho can play.
I want to make my point.
I'll come back to Boogeyman. Kassim, answer me this question. So, who would your defenders be next season? Midfielders be next season. Who would you have in your squad for next season?
That Kanté is gonna go first for me, and I'm gonna go Gallagher.
Yeah,
I got Kovačić because he's ball driven. Declan Rice and Ruben. That's a 5 for me. And the reason I disclosed Jorginho because I've got Kante. I can have them both 30. That's my point I'm trying to make.
Okay. You want to bring in some younger lads for the future of the team.
So Kante can learn from Kante, you know.
Yeah, I would like to add something quick. Jorginho, the way Jorginho.
Give me your midfielders and your reasoning behind it.
The most important midfielder in our team is Jorginho, then Kovačić, then Kante. Now we need 5. So and because of Ruben Loftus-Cheek resurgence this season, I say because of that, I'm more convinced that we need to keep Jorginho and Kante because Ruben will give them time to rest. And the way Jorginho play, he's never going to get injured. All he does is connect and move it, connect and move it. That's all he does. And we need a top team like Chelsea need those type of players. No, it's not always about physicality. It's about being smart also, and that's why Jorginho offered same as Kovačić. And so then on the 5th position, like I'm pretty sure the entire panel will agree with me and Bobby also, is Gallagher. Come in, that's it.
But Boogeyman, you have to have the balance, mate. Kovačić, I'm sure he's not young.
What balance?
I'm telling you now, the age balance, especially. Look, listen, hear me out. Game won or lose in the midfielder. Okay, you can have Kovačić. We can have Kante over 30. Kovačić knocking on 30, and Kovačić and Jorginho knocking on 30, and Kovačić is not getting any younger. You have to have the mix. Yeah. Declan Rice is only 22, 23, and you got Gallagher's only 24. And Ruben is 25, knocking to 26.
Gallagher
you can't go to Kovačić to Jorginho for about the next 5 seasons, mate.
Gallagher
you have
is
to have
not
that cycle.
Kasim, you're making our players old. You're increasing the age by 2 years. Every one of them.
No. Do you know why? Listen. Kasim, he's from the Middle East. And in the Middle East, their dates are different. They play about their birth certificates to make them eligible to play.
No.
Listen. People, hold on, Eric. Listen, people in the chat, do us a favor. Hit the like button. If you're enjoying the stream, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot. And listen, I'm looking at the questions. Keep posting questions and we will address as many as we can. We're going to be live for about another hour, so any questions you have, just post them in there and we will address them. Like, subscribe and post your questions in the chat. Take it away, Eric.
Yeah, just to respond to what Kasim was saying, I never want to see, I said it before, I never want to see Jorginho, Kovačić and Kante in the same midfield again. I don't want to see it again. It doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work. I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. So the way I see it, only 2 of them will be on the pitch at any point, And I can't think of how many times this season Kante and Jorginho have actually played together. Kante has mostly been out, hasn't he? He's been rested or he's been injured or something. So I don't know. I understand what you say about, you don't want 2 people of that age profile at the same time. So if you take out, I'm assuming everybody thinks Saul will be, sent back to, So then if Gilmore comes in for Saul.
Don't talk about Saul. He's not going to
Okay. If Gallagher comes in and gets into that, okay, say if, let's assume we keep everybody the way they are and we just add Gilmore to the midfield and we play either Kante or Jorginho at any point. Don't you think that could work? So Kante, Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher, Jorginho, Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher. I think that could work.
All right. Yep, it could work. MDT, do you want to add anything before we move to the next question? I know Couch Critic is not available right now, so.
Yeah, for me, to be honest with you, I think because Gallagher can come and take the Saul role, and what's his name, and or Saul Obakley's role. And I think Gilmour should come and with his tail behind his back and come and sit and learn from the elders. So for me personally, I believe Gilmour should come and take the Saul role. And for me personally, if Chelsea need to sign, I don't think it's in midfield. Midfield we have in-house to see us through, because we have our midfield only 2 people, like I think it's saying, they're old. But all the other ones, Cover is 27. All the other ones are 25 and below. So we are fine there. No need to spend 100 million in that position. We have other positions to fill, which are critical to the team. For me personally, that's what I think.
Yep.
Can I just say something more?
No, Kasim, no. We spent a lot of time on this question. I want to get through as many questions as possible. There's 2 questions that are similar. Zaidi Chelsea is asking, if you could buy one player in the world today to play for Chelsea, who would you buy? And then you've got Anthony here is asking, if Chelsea were to sign a new player, who should we sign? So, who would you want to see Chelsea have at the club? I'm going to say next season.
Striker
and you can have any player. If you were able to bring, who would you have?
Man name starting by H.
There's only one player.
I know. We're gonna get the same player, but I want to get the reasons behind it. So, and I'm gonna start with Boogeyman. Go on, Boogeyman. Tell me. Why would you sign Haaland next season?
We just said it's just a player. Not the condition in which he come in, right? We don't. His agent doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh no. Let's do it. Let's do it in the best case scenario with all things being good. Yeah, go on.
So I will bring Haaland in, just so we can have 2 top strikers fighting for that position, and because as a lot of people have alluded, this season we have a really, really, really good team from wingers all the way to the defense. We are pretty stable. And the only thing we need now to boost the confidence of our frontline players is someone banging those goals. And we need someone that can bring that can score goals. Like every time we create the first chance in the first half, we need someone that can score them, so we can just be firing at all cylinders. And Lukaku that we have right now have not done it, and Havertz that we put as a substitute. We always struggle in the first half, and I like us to just kill the game. At least score those chances. And I think what I saw from Haaland, like I said, I think a lot of people on this panel have watched Haaland 9 times since he's playing at Dortmund. And that kid, what he can do with the ball, his movement, the speed. I know people may say EPL is another animal. The speed that in the box, that he's just seeing the ball. He only seeing the goalkeeper and the goalie. He is really, really good. Like even if you haven't seen it, trust me, what I've seen live from Haaland, it's not a joke. So I would love to have him at Chelsea, just to be our front line, to lead our attack. That's all I would love to at this point. And I think he is the piece that is missing. If we have to avoid his agent,
would you have him to replace Lukaku or to play with Lukaku?
I'm not the type of person that will talk Lukaku out, because I believe in something. Chelsea can still have 2 top strikers. Like Lukaku can be challenged. Now it is for Lukaku to show what he is made for, what he is made of. So if Lukaku is willing to take the challenge to Haaland, then so be it. If he trying to take himself out of it, then that's his problem also. But I think if we buy Haaland, 21 years old, and what he's doing in Bundesliga, or at least what I've seen of him live, I think Lukaku will leave this Chelsea team. We don't
I
have.
don't think they can play together. Pokemon.
Yeah, no, and
I
don't really care about that at this point because that's another debate. But I just think he will deliver, and that's the only missing piece for our Chelsea.
The next question that's coming up is to talk a little bit more about that aspect, about him being able to deliver. We'll come back to that question in a second. MDT, what's your thoughts on this question? Who would you sign? You can have any player on the planet. Who would you want to see at Chelsea next season?
I think it's Enrique Chiesa. Federico, the father is Enrique. Sorry, Federico Chiesa. Yeah, it's direct. Chelsea don't need right now. What we're missing is winger. That's direct, either left or right side. Direct. Don't care whether he lose the ball 10 times. He will keep going. That's what we need in that team. If there's one player I can sign, is that Federico. Yes.
Okay.
Do you think it's important, MGT?
Hold on.
Yeah,
I'm asking the questions.
It's more important.
I'm asking the questions.
Sorry.
All right, Eric. Who would you bring in?
Yeah, I would choose between two players. I would choose between
one. You can have one. You don't have enough money.
I'm choosing. Like I said, I'll choose between two players.
Okay.
I was gonna say Mbappe initially,
Nice.
but I think I'll go with Salah. I'll go with Mo Salah because
Interesting.
Yeah.
At his age.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well.
He's over the hill. He's over the hill, man. He's not.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. I think he could play till he's in his mid-30s. I really
60s,
70s. No, I think he could play till I think he would be a very.
Do you reckon he can cope in the Premier League?
He might. I think he might be able to cope. Yeah, I think he might be able to do it.
Maybe London weather.
Listen. Mo Salah.
That's an amazing one.
Mo Salah is, he is. I mean, again, people will say I'm biased and whatnot, but Mohammed, I'm going to call him by his name. I'm not going to say Mo Salah. Mohammed Salah has proven so many doubters wrong. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Who called it out? I think was it Ian Wright? On his first season for Liverpool, he said this guy is Messi-esque. I think it was Ian Wright. I think he said it was Ian Wright. Yeah,
never said something.
And it's like him Messi-esque. You're dreaming, But he called it. He called it. And
the difficult thing about Mo Salah, he scored exactly a photocopy of every goal he's been scoring since he is at Liverpool. No one can just prevent him of scoring. Take the ball on the left foot and curl it. Take the ball on the left foot and curl it. Take it. I'm just like, why nobody? Just kick him.
Stop it. Easy.
and then I know
cut and paste, and they're all same result every time.
I've seen it. Like Mo Salah at Chelsea, when he took his shirt off, it's like those people that chase the cow on the street.
Stop.
But now when he take the shirt off, the muscle.
He was younger.
But you guys are missing the point. Frank Ribery is the same thing. He always call it. Ian Rubin, they have one move. They practice it and they perfect at it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. That's what most.
No, you can't. You're right.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud of him because guess what? When people doubt you, you came to Chelsea. Even when Liverpool bought him, I remember defending him on that CFC net. You remember those websites before we used to have? Yeah, it's a flop. It's a Chelsea flop. Liverpool went and spent whatever. I told them Mourinho screwed Chelsea. But no, that's why whenever he scores, I'm happy for him. I hate Liverpool, but I'm happy for him. Let him keep scoring.
Look, he can. The thing about Salah is, I feel as if it's when you say he does one thing, I think that's not even correct. I think he can do all sorts of. I mean, look at the goal he scored against Man City. That was his weaker foot. So I think he can score any kind of way. It doesn't matter. He can go left. He can go right. He's just a very special player, and I would very much. He would have to be the first pick. Yeah. I think the second question is a bit similar, but in terms of not just any player in the world, if it's just like a signing for now, that is realistic. I think we could get a left-sided centre back. I'm not on board with
Rudiger
Sarr
staying.
yet.
Rudiger
I know
staying.
he's staying, but he can't play every game. So I think we need somebody else there. And whenever Sarr plays, I'm yet to be convinced about Sarr. I just don't feel comfortable whenever he's on the ball. Yeah, so I don't think. Yeah, so if you can get somebody else, that would be good.
De Ligt.
No.
Oh no! Listen, I said to you, De Ligt is overrated before, guys. I told you my mate is a Juventus fan, and he told me a while ago.
Please, talking to Eric. Let Eric finish his.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No. Yeah, he's right. Look, he may as well just keep talking because I agree with what he's saying.
Let's see, you're done, Eric. You done?
Look,
you're done.
The Ligt is overrated, and you don't want
Overrated,
the thing. He will be expensive. I'm talking about a squad player. Somebody to play behind, after Rudiger, as a sub. So it would have to be somebody cheaper.
All right. I think Couch Critic is still not here. Kasim, why would you sign Haaland?
Did I say Haaland? Look at you, it's cheeky, boy. The game just started again, man.
No, seriously, who would you have? Who would you have?
Well, to be fair, mate, I want to address a few points here before I give you my choice. De Ligt is overrated, in my opinion.
Forget De Ligt. Who would you have? The question is, who would you sign?
Man, it's got to be Haaland, mate. It really is. No, it's got to be Haaland.
Why?
It's got to be Haaland.
Why?
Because is the attributive is this Haaland, and I know MGT. I said about my life on it. He's not going to do well in the Premier League, and I think the MGT spoke too soon about that. He should have been saying that, really, MGT. But yeah, that's your opinion, bro. Haaland is a tank, man. He's a tank. He's physically, he's fast, he's mobile. He's got everything. He's just got everything. And I want to tell Boogeyman, I don't think Haaland and Lukaku can play together because no one gonna play second field. Someone has got to go. If Chelsea gonna go for Haaland, that means it's not good news for somebody else. So I don't know. I look, all way I wanted Haaland for a reason because the way he plays is what Chelsea. She is a very good choice. I think I give Callum Hudson-Odoi and a chance. I think the guy got high potential.
Actually, yeah. I was thinking about Chiesa, but then he's
Callum is very good. Callum is very good.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about his height and the fact that
I think. Do you know what, Boogeyman? People don't understand how good Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's a young lad still. He's so talented guy. Just give him time, and he'll be great.
There's a question. All right, Abdul B. I'll answer that question. Just give me a second. I'll answer that question.
You're not allowed.
No. I'll answer in a minute. There's a couple more questions. People, we have another maybe 45 minutes. Depends on the questions, but we are still going to be on. So post your questions in the chat. Please hit that like button. We're on 63 likes, 0 dislikes. So the person who dislikes my streams isn't around. Disappointing. Oh, yeah, he would have enjoyed this the stream. I'm sure he would have enjoyed it. But anyway, I hope he's all right. I hope he's doing well. Listen, a question here from Gabriel. Gabriel's asking. He says, are Bundesliga signings to be avoided? Many clubs in the Premier League signed players from that league and are struggling. Werner, Havertz, Sancho, Bailey, and others. They come to the Premier League and they struggle. I'm not sure if. I see what he's coming.
Exactly. It is a valid question.
Yeah, it's a valid question. I think there's reasons for it. Is it the Bundesliga level? Is it the Premier League level? I'll open it to you guys to address. I have my own thoughts, but I'll let you guys answer it. Go on.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are underestimating this. Watch the Bundesliga. They don't defend as a team. They man mark. Everybody is marking somebody. That's why when you beat your man, you clear in space. Even the strikers, just look at it. It's the same thing in Champions League sometimes. That's why when the top teams meet, that's when it's difficult. Or if they play certain teams, you see, even when Malmo come to Chelsea, when they came at our home, what did they do? They wanted to see whether they can get something. Within 10-15 minutes, we score, and the match was finished technically. But that's the same way they play in the Bundesliga. Bundesliga, every game is open. It's too open. So you cannot judge a player in that league properly. Because even their defenders, they used to praise. Look at Upamecano. When he came against Rashford, the speed and movement of Rashford, what happened? 15 minutes, he destroyed Upamecano. Because there's nobody helping. They don't do it. Look at is it Hummels at Dortmund. He's a good defender, but because of the way it's open, the field is open. So that's why when people are giving Bundesliga strikers credit, even when they go to Spain, they struggle. Okay, look at the guy, the Frankfurt guy that went to Real Madrid. Look at Heller. Look at Heller at whatever. Look at, remember Huntelaar. When Huntelaar went to Real Madrid, he didn't do anything. Now he went back to Schalke, he was a star. Bundesliga strikers, you don't judge them until you see them prove it in another league. Okay, Lewandowski is a different ballgame because the way he plays football is different. He doesn't rely on space or whatever. He relies on technique and controlling the ball, holding defenders and playing with his teammates. I believe he can. But any player that rely on high line, running, and I'm worried. I'm worried when it comes to the Premier League. Because that's the kind of strikers that will fail here, or players that need certain aspects that succeed in the Bundesliga. Okay, Bundesliga is a different league. You cannot judge a Bundesliga player. Look at Jadon Sancho, 17 assists. Who done that?
He hardly played MDT. He hardly played. He hardly started.
No, that's Cis Fabregas level. That's a Thierry Henry level. Kevin De Bruyne level. Okay, 17 assists, 17 goals, 15 assists, 15 goals. Come on, let's be honest. That's the stats are inflated in the Bundesliga. I believe that.
Yeah, I think for players who are, I have more faith that players who are more technically gifted, they have a better chance to succeed in other leagues. So if you just rely on your speed or you rely on your physicality, I don't think you would be able to cope in a league like the Premier League, because there are a lot of high quality technical players. And I think Werner was mentioning about how the defenders are very fast, they are very physical. So you can't just rely on your physicality and expect to succeed, But I think players who are very good technically, I still think Sancho, yes, he's not going to get 17 assists, but I think he can still do very well in the Premier League because of his talent. Yeah. And Havertz as well. I think Havertz and Sancho can do very well. I'm not sure about Bailey. We'll have to wait and see. And that's why I didn't bother with the whole Holland thing.
He's playing well, Eric. Sorry to interrupt you. He's been playing well for Aston Villa. He just got injured a few times. He's been playing really well, actually.
He has. He has had good moments. It's not like he hasn't done anything. So that's fair. That's why I didn't even bother with the Holland thing to Chelsea, because of it's possible in theory, but I need to, obviously we need to wait and see if it actually happens. But I think he would definitely, maybe he wouldn't struggle the whole time, but he would definitely struggle at first to get used to things. And I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I have doubts. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand MDT and Eric Blue, where they're coming from. Yesterday we talked about data. It depends on what example you want to use. Roberto Firmino, a song from Tottenham.
Kevin De Bruyne,
Sané, Manchester City number 8. So I can. I can go over and all, or go through and Aubameyang. listen, it's difficult to just say you cannot come from Bundesliga and succeed in EPL. It's just your motivation. If you have it in you, you will do it. And if the talent is there, like Gnabry left Arsenal, go to Bayern Munich, is banging right now. And so this way or the other way, it doesn't matter to me at this point. But the question is, are Bundesliga signing to be avoided? I will say no.
No.
If the club can afford it, it is a risk we have to be taken. Sancho, I think Ole is the problem. He is his way.
I disagree. Sancho's not the problem. Ole
No, I say
is the problem.
when it
Ole
comes
is
to
the problem.
Sancho, yeah, that's what I said. Maybe the word didn't come out right from my mouth. I say Sancho. I think Ole is the problem, not Sancho. He's under so much pressure that he's not testing anything at this point. He just wants to keep the result till maybe use Sancho in cup games and then give the kid a chance. So I think Sancho will come good, and it's just a matter of time. But we should not be saying Bundesliga player in EPL will struggle. No, it depends on the player. I can give you a lot of examples. Too many that are succeeding.
Yeah, no,
go on again. You have to Sani.
I think
as well.
Kasim, hold on. I think we have to balance the position, the age of the player. There's a lot of factors. I think the fact that he's coming from the Bundesliga into the Premier League, that as the only factor, I think it's a little bit harsh to judge just by that. I think there's other factors that need to come in. Mo, I'll bring you in. Couch Critic wants to come in on this, so I'll listen to Couch. I'll come back to you, Mo. Go on, Couch.
Hey, fellas. Sorry to take me, so
Couch.
I'll just pick up my kid. Everyone cool still? Seems like the vibes has been pretty chill, so that's good to hear.
It has been.
It's been good today, Couch. It's been quiet today.
Yeah, why is it so quiet? What's going on?
It's been controlled.
Is it because of me? I'm sorry. No, this is a great question, Gabriel. And I think it depends on the club, I think, sometimes, and the expectations. Because there is going to be an adjustment to any of these players coming over from the Bundesliga, especially at a young age. If you're expecting them to be, top players, at the top of the Premier League. Okay, bud, 1 second. If you were expecting them to be top players in the Premier League, like say Jadon Sancho was for Dortmund in the Premier League, I think you're going to have some caution there because the adjustment is stark, and these guys are young players. They haven't really played a lot of football at the top level, and this is like the cream of the crop. Like the Premier League is the toughest league in the world. So when you got like a player that's 20, 21, 22 coming into the league, you expect that there's going to be a natural evolution. But when you come to a team like, say, Aston Villa, where, Leon Bailey is, I think there's a little bit more room for him to just grow naturally into his role. Whereas if you go to a team like City, you go to a team like Chelsea, Manchester, I think what we ask of the players for those clubs is that we want them to hit the ground running immediately, and we pay top dollar for that particular reason. So it's
and that doesn't happen. I mean, look at what's his name, Grealish. He's performing, but not to the level that was expected of him when he went to Man City.
And even when we say Gundogan took a while to get acclimatized to Man City. Like
3 years.
He wasn't very good. He wasn't very good when he first came, right?
Yeah.
And I guess there are stories, or you have success stories like Kevin De Bruyne, but again, he's playing in a team that he doesn't necessarily have to be like the focal point of the team the whole time. Like I know he grew into that, but like he had Silva, he had Aguero, he had all these guys around him that were already at the top of their game. So he was kind of going under the radar for a lot of the time, and then grew up underneath them. So again, it's dependent on the teams, dependent on the player a lot of the time. And I think for Chelsea, we don't have a support system for Werner, Havertz. We don't have that right now, an umbrella system. I think that was what Lukaku was supposed to supply, and we haven't quite seen that yet. But those guys are put at the spear of our attack, and they haven't really acclimatized to our team or to the league yet. So we're expecting a lot of them because of their price tag, and it's just going to take some time for them to deliver. But I wouldn't say buyer beware. I just say what you're buying, number one, and know that there needs to be an adjustment period.
Yeah, Mo.
Yeah, I mean, if you come on, De Bruyne played in other leagues before he came, and even when he came to City, remember the first 2 years City didn't win anything, and they had Yaya Toure there, they have David Silva, they have company. He wasn't their main player. Gundogan, it took him 3 years to settle. Leroy Sané came before Pep Guardiola. Okay, he was there, he acclimatized, and even that, the numbers he put on at the Bundesliga, he didn't put it on at the Premier League, and even now he's putting higher number again. He didn't put those numbers in the Premier League. So that's what I'm saying. And to Aubameyang was he went as a kid at AC Milan, then went to Saint Etienne and won a cup there. And Boogeyman knows that. Aubameyang was already a good player before he went to Germany. Okay, him coming to Premier League, that's normal. Okay, we're talking about players that made their name in the Bundesliga and nobody, whatever. So when they come, their numbers goes down. That's normal. It's not the stats they put. Like Jadon Sancho is a very, very good player. I saw him. And when Callum Hudson-Odoi created 6 assists and scored 2 goals, and Phil Foden scored 2 goals and 2 assists, Jadon Sancho scored 3 goals and 2 assists, but they gave the golden ball, when England under 17 won the World Cup, they gave the golden ball to Phil Foden. But for me, the player of the tournament was Callum Hudson-Odoi. He created the 6 assists, highest in the tournament, and 2 goals. So these kids, I watch them go up. I'm telling you, I know Jadon Sancho, I love him. He came from Watford to Manchester City. Okay, but I'm telling you that number he put on at the Bundesliga, he cannot create that in the Premier League. So no matter how good you are, whether you are Haaland, you are Lewandowski or whatever, you score 30 or 40 in the Bundesliga, you'll be lucky to score 25 in the Premier League. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's nothing to say they're not a good player or whatever. The Bundesliga, the way they play football, don't judge a player on that because they go one-on-one. Everything is one-on-one. If you beat your man, you're through. If a midfielder beat another midfielder, they're through. Because that's how they play. It's a wonderful way of watching football. It's a wonderful way of watching football. But that's the way they play.
That's his opinion, right? So
that's the
Listen, I respect his opinion, bro. But when you make a claim, you have to be really. It's got to be fact there. I respect everyone's opinion, but if someone, I'm not saying him, did it? See, if I've got my own opinion. My opinion is rubbish, really. Someone has to say, stop, Kasim, you're talking nonsense there, mate. I respect everyone's opinion. Bruno Fernandes, he came for the Portuguese league. How many assists? He came in January, yeah?
How many? Look, you're mixing it together. Bruno Fernandes was in Italy. Okay, he was in Italy and then returned to Portugal. Yes. So it's not like Bruno Fernandes, that was his first time out of Portugal.
Listen, Mo, we're talking about the Premier League away, right? Bruno Fernandes, don't tell me I knew he was playing for it in Italy. I knew that. He came for the Portuguese league in January to Man United. How many goals and assists did he score?
How many penalties and free kicks did he take?
It doesn't matter.
Thank you very much.
It doesn't matter.
No,
that's relevant. The guy came in January.
Jorginho, top goal scorer for Chelsea last season.
No. What, 7 goals? Penalties.
No, listen.
And Kasim, I'll answer that. Kasim, we're talking about Bundesliga. You brought in the Portuguese league. It's unbelievable. You're talking about facts. You're talking about making sense.
Listen.
Why is that yardstick? It's a Bundesliga. That's what the question was.
Why is that yardstick?
We're talking about the Bundesliga. The question was about
Roberto,
the Bundesliga.
Roberto Firmino, young men.
We are moving along.
They make their name in the Bundesliga. Come here and succeed.
We are moving along. Let's be specific to the question. This question here is from Abdul B. He says this is for the Arabs on the panel. No, the question is for all the panel. Is Mohamed Salah the greatest Arab footballer? Now, it depends on what you mean by the greatest, the best. What has he achieved? What he hasn't achieved? And in my opinion, the greatest Arab footballer is not Mohamed Salah yet. In my opinion, the greatest Arab footballer would have to be Zizou.
Now
Zinedine
I'm also
Zidane.
the Arab on the panel now. What the hell?
Zidane, easily. Zidane, not even close to being rival.
Yeah.
No. You guys are disrespecting the greatest of them all.
Tell me.
Okay, that's Maja.
Who?
Maja. Go on, ask any.
Rabah Maja.
Okay, you guys are disrespecting him. That guy single-handedly won the Champions League for Porto. So guys, stop it. Football, come on, stop it. Zidane is good, but Zidane has a great team. Go and check Rabat Mahja. If that was now, you will hit.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. He's got a point about Rabah Maja. He's played for Algeria and one was Porto. But I'm coming. That's my opinion. I think the greatest Arab footballer is easy, Mo Salah. I won't conclude Zidane because Zidane, he had that French nationality. He didn't play for Algeria.
Oh,
so talking about this.
Do you have British nationality?
Pardon?
Do you have British nationality?
I have.
Are you an Arab?
I am. No. We're talking about.
Lick shot. Lick shot.
Oh, come on, man.
Lick shot.
No. What?
I don't know. I'm British. I'm second generation Brit. I'm a second generation Brit. My kids are third generation Brit. They're also Arab.
Yeah, but you're not being fair, Mo, because if Salah playing with
You're not
Egypt,
being fair.
Yeah, I tell you why. Let me make my point. If Salah playing with Egypt, playing with Egypt and Zidane playing with France is Zidane gonna have the higher chance to win things. That's why I'm judging it. Salah play for Egypt, and Salah won the Champions League and the league was Liverpool, and he didn't win for 30 years, and he breaks records. Any records in the Premier League, he breaks it. To me, he's the best Arabic Premier without shadow of a doubt. Without shadow of a doubt. Zidane, fantastic player, but Zidane did it for France. When he had
Zidane did it for Real Madrid, for Juventus, he did it for a whole bunch of teams as well.
Can I come on this one?
Okay, but guess what? Maja did it for Algeria, did it for Africa, did it for Porto. So we can go on. Mo Salah only did it for Liverpool.
Yeah,
so
can I say something about this?
It's an opinion. Go on, Boogeyman. Go on, Boogeyman.
For me, the best Arab player is Zinedine Zidane. For anybody that bring Rabah Maja into
He's French, so that obviously Boogie.
That's what I'm saying. It's not fair. And he played for Real Madrid, the best team. He played for Juventus, the best team. Come on.
The truth is, Rabah Maja, I watch a lot of video of Rabah Maja, and Salah has nothing to envy from Rabah Maja. Salah is as good as Rabah Maja. Just go watch the goal Rabah Maja used to score. Close to the same thing as Mo Salah. So, for me at this point, if I don't pick Salah, it will be Zinedine Zidane. Because Rabah Maja, he's done it. I'm not gonna lie. He won Champions League. Salah won it. So I don't see where the problem is at this point. I mean, he did a lot of good things in the on the continent, but I guarantee you, Mo Salah that we've seen today is better than Rabah Maja. And because I think Zinedine Zidane is a midfield, and that's the position I always love when it comes to football, I give it to Zidane because Zidane is a magician. What that guy was doing, Brazil final on tour. Can I finish this?
You
never seen before in football.
We need a fatwa right now because of this. We need a fatwa. What you guys just did is haram. This is blasphemous. What you guys just did today is unbelievable. If Rabah Maja was playing on this current if Rabah Maja was playing on this current surface, this pitch, these people are playing on, are you guys kidding me? He was playing on, even Europe, people are playing on sand. Do you guys know? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is haram. We need a fatwa now.
listen, there's been
yeah, but
to be fair,
there's been against less defensive teams, right? So
it was fantastic. There
was a lot. No, there is a lot of North.
You guys forget Michel Platini. Look at Europe.
Players.
Look at Platini.
I don't rate Michel Platini, to be honest with you.
No. Look around the world. Okay, those players that were playing, even in the Champions League, it was only the league winners that used to compete. It's not the third place, fourth place, whatever. Imagine, and every league winning team has a full national team. Like AC Milan, they have Baresi, you name it. Those were the defenders he was playing against in the Champions League. He wasn't playing against Phil Jones.
Back then there is a left.
Can anybody confirm this? Can anybody confirm this? Because I wasn't aware of this. Apparently Zidane classifies himself as a Berber rather than an Arab.
Yes, that's a Berber.
If that is the case, then I will have to say Mohamed Salah.
You guys promoting division here, right?
Yeah.
Berber.
I said Salah from the beginning, bro.
No. Berber.
Someone educate me when it comes to Berber and Arabs.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
You're different. Yeah.
North Africa. They have I think 3 different races. They got the Arabs. They got the Berbers, and there's an African, a Nubian sect as well that live in Egypt, that live in Libya, and Morocco. I'm not sure about Algeria, but and that
Sudan as well.
Yeah.
So in theory, if we're talking about Arabs, there's Arabs in other countries as well. There's Arabs in Somalia. There's Arabs in Eritrea. So there's a lot.
Somalia is Arab, no. Somalia is Arab.
No, Somalia is part of the Arab League, but the actual national language is Somali. It's not Arab.
They got their own language, but yeah.
Somali and Arab is very similar. I mean, they have a lot of similar words in the language. To be fair, there's a lot of Arabic and a lot of the African dialects in Nigeria. I think I've heard it spoken. I've heard it spoken. In Swahili, in
West,
Zulu.
Swahili. Not all. Even in West Africa, like if you speak in the Wolof language, there are a little bit of interpass. Even my language, there are a little bit of mix. And even some Fulani words is come from the Arabic dialect, because you will not go to a West African country, whether it's Mauritania, whether it's what's its name, whether it's Morocco, whether it's northern Mali, you will not meet a Fulani or somebody like from a tribe, the Soninke, or you will not meet a Berber, because if you listen to my tribe, our music is similar to the Tuareg's music. It's the same. Everything, beats, everything, same beat, same everything. That's like the origin of
No, listen,
so
Hawassa and Swahili.
There's no beats in the Tuareg music. What are you guys talking about?
We're gonna get into music. Listen, guys. Gabriel always comes out with these facts and pieces of information that is very, very good. Arabs is mostly from the northern part of Africa. Yes, I agree. The northern part of Africa and the eastern parts of Africa, you'll find a lot of Arabs, and it's really because of the trade. Back in the day, there's a lot of trade done over there. You'll find there's a lot of family ties between Al Jazeera, which is Yemen, Saudi, Al Hijaz, as Gabriel calls it, with East Africa. There's a lot of ties. Arab speaker, but ethnically Arab is some. Yes, that is also true. That is also very true. But this is the northern part, the northeast part of Africa and the west part of the Middle East. Anyway, let's not go into that. That's a different topic for a different.
We're going
type
to
of
race
stream.
now.
Yeah, that's a different topic for a different type of stream. Listen, people, in the chat, I have really enjoyed the stream. I think this Q&A has been really good. I think it gives you guys a chance to ask us questions, interact with us, and we also get to address topics that you guys are interested in. I think we will conclude the stream in the next 15 minutes. So we have time for a couple more questions, and we have time for a few more likes. We're on 67 likes. Let's try to push close to that 100 like mark. I'm going to have a look and see if there's any more questions in the chat.
ZVO Gaming has, ZVO Genius has a question for Kasim.
For Kasim, yeah. Kasim, answer this question for me.
Okay. From United Arab Emirates, mate. Abu Dhabi. I am from United Arab Emirates.
Postcode. No, but you spent some time in Egypt, correct?
Yes, my mom, she's Egyptian, yeah, and in a young age, my dad has died, and I went to school there at age 11, and after that, I gone back to my original roots. Yeah, so I'm from United Arab Emirates. So my mom, I'm half Egyptian, and half Khaliji from the Gulf. United Arab Emirates. That's why I've got biased to Mo Salah. I know he plays for Liverpool, but I love the guy. I love him as a football fan, and he's very got great attitude.
All right, you know what? Since Kasim gave an insight to his background, I'm going to give you an insight to my background, and then we'll go across the board. If anybody doesn't want to, they can opt out. You don't have to. I'm Iraqi.
Too many enemies here. I'm not giving my background.
No, that's up to you. That's up to you. I'm a British Iraqi Muslim. I've got family from Egypt. I've got family from Persia. I've got family living all across the world: Germany, Europe, America. I identify as a British Iraqi, so that's my background. Boogeyman doesn't want to answer this. MDT,
I don't mind it. Listen, man.
Oh, you don't mind? All right, go on. I'm sure people are just dying to jump on you.
Yeah, there's a lot of hitters here, man. Listen, I was born in a small country in Africa called Togo, but none of my parents are from Togo. So they both they were studying in France.
Is that where Adebayor came from?
Was Adebayor from Togo?
Yeah, Togo.
But I'm not originally.
You got football team now, though.
What's that?
Let the man talk. Let the man talk.
Yeah, I said they got football team.
Yeah. So my father is from Burkina Faso. My mother is from Ivory Coast. They both met in Poitiers in France, where they were students. Then they're both doctors. They're like a university, no medical doctor, but doctors, right? So they found a job back. That's when they went back to Togo because they've been offered a good job there. That's where I was born. Then they didn't like it. We moved back to France. From France, they were teaching at the university there, and I went to the Nantes Football Academy because a lot of people here don't really know how good I used to be. So I went to Nantes Football Academy, but then we all moved.
What position?
Yeah, midfield? I'm a midfielder. Yeah. You look at my face. Don't you see all those dribbling, all those passes? Pass goals, man. No, but I'm tall. I'm 182. No, 183. I'm not that. I think MDT may be a little taller than me, but I'm really tall. So then we moved to Canada in the East Coast.
Okay.
Fredericton, where is a British French speaking colony there. So that's where I grew up, and I used to be their best player in all the high school up to university. You feel me? So that is my background. But then the other thing is I travel a lot. Because I have family all over Europe most of the time. Every time I had a fight with my father,
I have to move back to Europe and stay in Europe, and so mostly in Germany. So I speak French, I speak German, and English is pretty much the last language that I know. So I'm really fluent in French and German. So and that is my background. So.
Can I just say something more?
Brilliant.
I'm assuming Matt, you know Matt that asked you the question. I'm assuming his background Lebanese. Correct me, Matt, if you can hear me.
No,
I think he's a Lebanese.
He is.
Is it?
He is.
Yeah.
Lebanese, but he spent
Oh
his
yeah.
life in Australia.
The other thing is, both my parents are Muslims, but
Yes.
you don't see that in my face.
Yes. I knew that. You told me that already.
No, but both my parents are Muslim, but for some reason, I celebrate. Go ahead.
Go on.
No, it's just for some reason. I cannot say too much.
All right, moving to MDT. MDT, do you wanna address that? You wanna address the question of your background?
Yeah, my background is very interesting. My father and uncle, they were born in Gambia, but my great grandfather came from an area. Now half of the area is in Mauritania and the other half is in modern day Senegal, called Fouta Toro. So that's where my great grandfather came from. That's from my mom's father's side. Sorry, my mother's side, they came originally from modern day Mali. Okay, but my parents were born in Gambia, and but my father moved to Congo in the 50s when he was around 14 years old with his brother, and they were lucky enough during the colonial era. They were the first black people to involve in the diamond business. So they were lucky. By the age of 19, my uncle was already a millionaire. That was in the 50s. And they returned back home with my dad and their other brother. So they end up, by the time Gambia was getting independence, they bought the properties of the colonialists, the hotels, whatever. So they bought a lot of properties. So luckily, that investment solidified their future. So then they moved to Sierra Leone. When they moved to Sierra Leone, they meet that's where they made a lot of friends, especially in the Lebanese community. In the Lebanese and the Syrian community and the, what's the name? The Jewish community, because they were in the diamond business as well. And so my father moved to Antwerp. So I was born in Sierra Leone, but some of my brothers were born my elder ones, they were born in Congo, some were born in Antwerp, in Brussels. Sorry, Antwerp in Belgium. So my father lived in Antwerp for 40 years between Antwerp, Sierra Leone, Congo, Kinshasa, Congo, Brazzaville, Liberia, Monrovia. So my childhood was based in traveling around. So when I was 11, my father decided for us to go and live in Gambia. So all the young ones went, but that time my brothers were already old. They came to university. Some went to Canada, some came to UK, some studied in Holland. So I have family everywhere. So I have family in France, in Spain, in some of my cousins are half Lebanese. Some of them are half Jordanian. My wife is half Moroccan. So I have family in Mauritania. I don't know. I have family everywhere. So my background is really, really mixed. And when I was approaching finishing high school, I told my father I had a scholarship to go. To go to Canada to study soccer scholarship, to play football and study in the university. But then my wife is asleep. I was dating this girl. I thought we have.
Hey, listen. Hold on. This is live, yeah. So don't say anything you're gonna regret.
I know.
Don't say anything you're gonna regret.
It's okay. Yeah. So I was dating this girl who is half Lebanese. The father is I think he's still a lecturer at the University of Colchester. So because I was in love, I canceled my scholarship to go and study in Canada. I told my father I'm coming to England to study. So he didn't hesitate. He trusted me. So I chose England. 3 weeks before I moved to England to study, she dumped me. but I still came. So, so, so that's the reason why I came to England and studied. But I'm happy. That's the best decision that ever happened to me because. So this is my background. I came from a family of travelers. When I mean travelers, they travel around the world, and I was fortunate to meet a lot of people. I spent my childhood between Gambia, Senegal. My sister was married in Togo. I went to Togo, Lomé, Ghana as well. I visited there a few times. I've been to Antwerp a few times, Freetown. So this is my life story. It's just my whole life I move around. The only place I've ever spent most of my life is Manchester because I came to study. I like it. I like my independence, my freedom, and it helped me grow as a man. I'm not involved in the family business because with us, it's either you come and study and go back and involve in the family business, or you fall out with the family. Luckily, I didn't fall out with anybody. I choose to stay and have my own life. This is my story.
Thank you for sharing that, MDT. Look, this show is going to be different. This show is all about connecting with the fan base. So now we, the panelists, know a little bit more about you. The people in the chat also know a little bit more about you. So it's brilliant. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm going to leave Eric to the end. We'll go to couch critic Dennis. Do you want to give us a little bit about your background story?
Yeah, man, sure. Not much to it, but big up to everyone, man. That's a history, man. That's a history. And I didn't know that Boogie was an actual football man. Nonce. I have to take you a little bit more seriously now. Just a little bit more. Not really, but you might know a few things now. I might have to take your opinion a little bit more with a little bit more credibility now. Okay, but no, I'm obviously Canadian in Toronto, born and bred, but my family's on both sides Jamaican, right? So. On my dad's side, my grandmother is a descendant of the Maroons. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that tribe of people. So they call her Coolie Girl. She's got that in her blood. And yeah, on my mom's side, she has a brother who. This is my connection to football now. So like her brother, her father moved to England in the 50s, when they open up the empire, after the war it gets rebuilt and we need somebody to rebuild the country, so let's open up the empire. Okay, Jamaicans, come back and work, build up this great nation for us, right? So my grandfather took that okay, I gotta get this guy some milk. My grandfather took that opportunity to go to the UK and had another family. Like he was separated from my grandmother at the time and had another family. So I have an uncle over there who is a Tottenham fan, and he's a great dude. I know it's weird, right?
Are you sure he's a great dude?
No, he's incredible guy, incredible guy. But you'd be surprised. A lot of Jamaicans are Tottenham fans, right? Mainly because of the connection with Bob Marley and stuff like that. And guess where they live in London too. There's a lot of Jamaicans up there, right?
North London.
So it's Tottenham and Arsenal a lot of the way. But so he, it wasn't him that actually brought me into football. My father did, obviously, but we'd always have this rivalry going between my uncles. My mother's other brother is a Liverpool fan, and I knew him from Jamaica because he only went to Liverpool to UK when I was, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11. So when I was going to Jamaica before, I always knew him as my favorite Uncle Wayne, who loved football, played for Waterhouse FC, which is one of the professional clubs there. He's a midfielder, and I knew him as a footballer then, but he moved to London, then started promoting and stuff like that. He worked in the record business and took an affinity to Liverpool. No surprise because of his Jamaican connection with what's his name there? The guy that everyone hates now. Played for the national team too.
Barnes, John Barnes.
Yeah, John Barnes, exactly. So he's Liverpool. And that was outside of my father. My father's a Chelsea fan, so my father, we always used to cheer for Chelsea, Then we'd have the rivalry with my uncle, who was Tottenham, and then my other uncle, who just jumped on the Jamaican bandwagon and went with John Barnes, right? So that's basically it. There's not really much of a history. Like my family's not as scattered. Like it's Jamaica, spatters out throughout the States, Canada, and then the UK. It doesn't really cross much more borders than that, really. So small family, but all love football.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing, Davis. Thank you.
Oh, no worries.
Eric Blue, your background, brother.
Yeah, last and least, no. I'm a first generation Chelsea supporter. My dad, when I asked my dad who he supported, he told me Arsenal, and then later on he changed it. He changed it to Man City. So I stopped taking him seriously with. I don't even know if he supports football anymore. But yeah.
He was an Arsenal fan when they were invincible, and now he's a Man City fan when they are one of the richest clubs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a Nigerian. I was born in Nigeria. Both my parents are Nigerian. I'm not at liberty to say too much more, but both parents are from Nigeria. I have family, in the UK. I have family from other places. I have family from places that I'm not even sure. I have extended. You know when you're an African family, and you have like extended I'm sure it's the same for you, Kasim.
Which Kasim?
Both of you.
Yeah.
You have family from all over the place. So I have family I don't even know where they are. So, So my parents are from different parts. They don't speak the same language. When I used to ask them why didn't you teach me the language? And they just give excuses. We don't speak the same language, so that's why we didn't teach you. And I always get upset because I didn't like the answers they gave me. So unfortunately, I only speak English. Sorry?
I feel you too. I feel
Yeah.
you. My mother is Fulani. My father is Hausa. I don't speak neither of it. I just understand a little.
Yeah. So they didn't teach me, so I don't speak any other language. I only speak English, but I'm very interested in languages, and I'm trying to learn some new languages. So I want to learn some Spanish. I want to learn Japanese as well. And I was told that I need to learn my native, the language where my dad's
Black
from.
man speaking Japanese? What the hell is wrong with you, Eric?
Haven't you seen that before? I've seen them. It's there's this channel. I can't remember what it's called. NK something. I used to watch this channel. It's a very Japanese. It's basically a Japanese channel. And I saw one. I saw a black man speaking Japanese, and it looked weird. But there are definitely Japanese speaking people out there, and I just find the language very interesting. So
sorry, Arigo. So I was gonna tell you, my friend is a Nigerian. Is a teacher in China. I went to university with him. We're still friends. The wife is Japanese. He speaks Japanese and speaks Mandarin. When he's talking, he's really funny. And whenever he's in Manchester, it's crazy. Well, he does speak both languages.
I'm gonna add something onto this as well. I grew up understanding Arabic. I couldn't speak it. I could say hello, goodbye, the main things, but I couldn't actually speak it. And I went to Iraq as an adult, and I lived there for a little while, and I learned to speak Arabic and learned the culture in Iraq because I wanted to learn it. I wanted to understand it. But a lot of people take it for granted. He's from the Middle East, he must speak Arabic. Not necessarily, because I grew up in this country. I know, and I mean, me and Kasim, we've spoken Arabic to each other in the past, and we both speak it, we both understand it, but we're both, I'm not going to say amateurs, but we're both still learning it, because if it's not something that you practice on a regular basis, it's hard. And talking about black people speaking Japanese, there, like I said to you, not knowing my culture. When I went to Iraq, the south of Iraq, there's a lot of black Iraqis. You know, they're from Iraq. They're Arabs.
Yeah,
They're black,
yeah.
You know?
A lot of black Arabs. Yeah, yeah. A lot everywhere.
A lot of black Arabs, and you know, they would speak to me in the in my native tongue, and I'd be like, what's your tribe? And their tribes, same as our tribes. You know, I mean, I come from a tribe that's in the south of Iraq, but my father married my mother, who is from the center of Iraq, where they're light skinned. My father is dark skinned, but I didn't really, I didn't see, that there's black people in Iraq, but there's blonde, blue-eyed people in the north of Iraq, and there's black people in the south of Iraq, and there's a mixture in the middle. And this is something that I didn't understand until I actually went and I visited and I met with people from my country. The point that we all have to understand is this: we are all the same.
We are all the same. Yeah.
The color of the skin, the way we look. My ancestors might have been blonde and blue eyes, or they might have been black skin. So for me, and when I say me, I don't mean me per se, but I'm saying for any individual to have hatred or to have animosity to somebody for the way, not necessarily the color, for the way they look or for the name they have, it just baffles me, because do you know what is your roots, where you come from? Because you might look like this, but that might not be who your roots are. And we have a player in our club, and I want to bring this back to our club. We have a player in our club, in our squad, in our first team today, who has blue eyes, blonde hair, and has white skin, but his grandfather, or I think his great grandfather, or his grandfather, is from Nigeria. He's black.
Yeah.
So if you look at the way he looks, you think, oh, he's white. But that's what I'm saying to you. We are all.
I've never thought Barkley is white. I always thought he might have a Jamaican background, but
no, he's Nigerian. He's Nigerian. Okay. He could have played for the Nigerian national team. We've got Julius in the chat. What's he saying? We should stop seeing skin color, and we should see human beings. I agree.
Yeah.
We all bleed blue. We all bleed blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all bleed blue.
Oh, someone say you're joking. I thought you were from Ivory Coast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's way too complex than I can even explain you. Both my parents are nomad. In French we say nomad. It's more like they have a lot of cows. And the reason why I joke a lot about cows, I mean they make like, what's that?
He says, I guess you speak Arabic with an English accent. I do. Yeah. I do. Unfortunately, I do. Sure.
So it's complicated. I mean, and even the citizenship and all those things were coming in during what, in 1950s, and
60s.
I mean, it's pretty complex to explain. But again, they both are just from those regions. Like MTG said, the Futadian regions, and they're just moving around depending on where those cows can find something to eat. So that's what it is. And at one point, colonization come and put all those borders.
Yes.
So where those white guy told you're from, you just, okay, I'm from here. That's what it was. So my parent, if you see my dad, his tall, light skin, and if you see my mom also skinny with those type of hair, but then I don't know what happened to my hair. So that's what's up. I mean, people from Africa will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's really complicated, because when somebody asks me where I'm from, I get confused, because I'm looking at where was I born, or where my parents are from, or where I'm originated. I don't know what to tell you, because I'm looking at, is it the current day border? What are you asking me? What is it, my identity paper
like,
you want?
I understand the question the guy asked. If I say I'm originally Fulani, you see Fulani in Sudan. You have Fulani all over the place in Africa. Then you're like, this guy say he's around South and West Africa. but most Fulani are in Central Africa. So, ma'am, I cannot explain you, man.
Yeah, and for me, my biggest regret is when I moved to England. In the beginning, I used to be around my friends from like the same people I grew up with, like the Lebanese friends, the friends from different part of the world, like from. So the language, I keep it for a bit. Like my Arabic wasn't great, but I understand it. We could speak it. But then with time goes on, the partying start. You start to everybody busy. And I lost, I could understand, but I started losing a lot of languages. But only thing that helped me is every year, my father used to guarantee you have to go home once a year. Your ticket is paid for. You don't have a choice. You have to go. So that made me maintain my local Gambian language, like the Soninke language. But what ended up happening is I stopped visiting Senegal, my family in Senegal. So my French starts going pear-shaped. And then my Arabic as well. The only thing that helped me, you read the Quran, but still because you're not speaking it with another person, is what I could even speak. Like Urdu, like the Indian, the Pakistani language. Yeah, I could speak it till today. I understand it. Yeah. So sometimes it will come. Sometimes when I go in their shop, I will speak it with them. But sometimes I will go in, I just can't because my head is scrambled.
So MDT, do you speak Arabic?
Not fluently. If you're speaking, I pick words now. Because before I used to say it with people, but I've not speak it normally for over 20 years with people. So that's the problem. Because I'm not around, my surrounding now is mostly people I do business with. None of them are Arab or black or...
Yeah. Same me. I live in the town. I don't speak Arabic with anyone.
I learned to read Arabic about 20 years ago. Before that, I didn't know how to read Arabic. I knew the letters, but I didn't know how to read. And
do you know how to write more?
No, very. It's limited. My writing is limited. My reading is good. The thing is this: I can write on the computer, using the keyboard, but I can't write with my hand. Writing it is a bit difficult. The thing is this: I started to pick up newspapers and just
study Arabic
try
because
to
I
read.
have to read the Quran, man. So.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why I tried to learn it so I could do that. Because I didn't go to school, an Arabic school. I didn't, have the opportunity. But I made myself learn it. I taught myself how to speak, how to read, and to write to a certain degree. Yeah. Listen, people, this stream has been fantastic. This Q&A, I'm actually looking to make a Q&A on a weekly basis. I'm gonna do that. We'll pick one day where we'll just sit here like we did today and just answer the questions of the people in the chat. Thank you to everybody who has contributed to the chat. Big up to the guys who sent in the super chats early doors.
Thank you, Abdul. Hilarious. I'm still here. Don't worry. I'm feeding my son though, so I'm just listening.
No, we're not. Someone said 80 likes. We're not 80 likes. We're 70, right?
No, we didn't hit. I don't think we hit. We hit 70 likes, but we had a good interaction, and big up to everyone who has taken part. Big up to Dennis, Eric, Mo, Faldiaso.
Shout out to Julius,
Kasim, Bobby, who was here earlier.
Is Max okay? I haven't heard from him for so long.
I don't know. I think he hasn't said anything. I'll probably message him tomorrow.
That's good. Today was chill. Yesterday was fire. And big up to my man Kasim. We need to talk more about Lukaku.
No, we don't.
Well, can I just say something more?
No, you can't.
Bro, let me say.
Kasim, no. I had to get it in there.
But I have to say something though. That subject yesterday, I know not a lot of panelists will show up, that's for sure, but I just have to say thanks to Couch and MTD, at least to show up, because I know it's not going to be comfortable for them. But I mean, listen, We are adults.
About what?
And we talk about it.
I'm sorry. What are we talking about? Something about uncomfortable?
Oh, man, don't go there, Boogie, man. Don't start that, mate.
So, like I said, thank you all for being here. It's been a fantastic stream. Love you all. Hold on. What outro shall we use? Shall we use?
You gotta let us at least say our goodbyes. I have to address that comment, man. I need my last words.
You guys have been saying goodbye for the past half an hour, man. You've been saying goodbye.
No, I introduced my family.
Let's
introduce my family. Let me
maybe let's
address
just
what this
open
guy's
another
saying.
one. Let me sit comfortably.
Brother, you got owned yesterday, man. You're talking about like the possession stats, like how he gets all these touches in the box, and then it turns out he doesn't get many at all. And then after that, you went silent. So I just left the stream. So I don't know where to go.
Listen, Boogeyman, I'm starting to doubt the 6 kilometer stat that he gave us for Lukaku running 6 kilometers. I'm starting to doubt that as well.
It's French. You have to be careful with the Frenchman statistic. You gotta be careful. They rip up Africa with stats. So you gotta be careful.
I'm pretty sure the stats were Boogie stats. He's like he posted it on his blog spot somewhere. He's like, yeah, man, Lukaku only had 4 good touches, man, and 62 touches, and he puts it on there, and then like expects me to go read it. The name is what?
You remember?
I'm gonna have to do this. Otherwise,
streaming tomorrow,
listen,
bro.
Tomorrow, tomorrow I have a busy morning and afternoon. If I'm able to get everything done by early evening, then we'll probably stream 8 p.m. to do the preview for the Burnley match. I'm going to be trying to do that. Hopefully we will. Worst case scenario, we'll stream late, but we'll do a quick stream, like maybe an hour stream rather than our usual 2 hours.
The reason more I'm asking because I'm in my channel. I'm streaming tomorrow. So I didn't want to.
No self-promotion.
I don't want to crash with you.
No
What time? I'll be there. What time?
Hey, what time? What do you mean? What time?
What time is it? I already got on Kazim's, man.
I'm removing him. That's it. That's how self-promoting their channels on my stream. Okay, Couch Critic. Don't go check out Couch Critic. His channel is bad. He's got no good content. Do not go. I'm telling you, do not go check out the Couch Critic. And if I see you guys commenting on QNTV, I will be very upset. So do not subscribe to the QNTV. Do not subscribe to the Couch Critic.
Sorry, Mo, can I tell you, Couch? I always, like whenever you go live, I always get there like late because I don't see notification or anything.
Yeah. You know what? I appreciate it, guys, but yeah, you know what we do? Like, I basically just record it live because it's not really. I don't really have a big enough following to actually go live and attract people. So I just leave it and then I post it afterwards. Like, it's just live discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you ever want to see it again, just let me know. I'll send you the link.
Listen, people.
I rewatch it, but I mean, like I'm talking about whenever you go live, I miss it. I always rewatch it.
Oh, respect. Okay, well, I'll let you guys know.
All joking aside, you need to be subscribed to the Couch Critic. Great analysis, pre-match and post-match. There is a lot to digest there. So please go and give that channel a subscription. And when you do subscribe to the Couch Critic, turn that bell notification button on because he doesn't upload at a regular schedule. I mean, he has a couple of things that are regular, but most of the time, he uploads whatever he feels like it. So it is what it is.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
That is a fact. And QNTV, good content there as well. When he's on my channel, he shouts a lot, but when he's on his channel, he's nice and calm and collected. So if you want to see,
I'm playing your role, Mo. I'm playing like I have to listen, but I was itching to talk though. But I just want to say something more. Tomorrow, as I said to you, I'm streaming tomorrow. The reason that if you're not streaming, I would love you to come because I'm think I'm gonna get someone tomorrow in my channel.
Sure.
So if you're available tomorrow,
No, I'm saying sure.
Say that again. Yeah. So if you're available tomorrow, you can come in. Everyone is more than welcome. But I just wanted to know because I'm part of your panelists, obviously. If he's streaming tomorrow,
Are you,
I do it before.
Kasim, are you paying your panelists?
Yeah, when I hit the 1,000 or 2,000, I'll start bathing, man. When I hit the 1,000 subs, yeah, I'll do that.
No, Kasim, tell him yes. One shawarma each. Shawarma or kebab.
Why are you laughing, man?
Falafel. What is shawarma? Shawarma expensive.
Falafel. Yeah, so.
Yalla, Shabab, seriously, I've had enough. I gotta go. It's been a fantastic evening.
Yeah, okay.
I will talk
Thank
to you all
you,
later.
Shabab. Yalla,
Peace
Marcel.
out.
Yalla,
Okay, you guys have a good day. Have a good day, everyone.
So need a striker because we just scored goals against Norwich and against X, Y, and Z. We don't need to get
anything with him because Lukaku ballon. I mean, he has the clear chance. He has the clear chance. No, let me finish this.
So those kind of stats piss me off when they come, you know, when they bring them up. It's just like, that's a jinx, man. Why do you have to talk about this now? But
keeping them injuries down. I know people have gone on about if we lose Lukaku, it could be a bit of a situation. I hope to God it doesn't happen that way, but I just don't know.
The goal would be Kepa because he made the save. People would say Kovačić, he was okay. I mean, he done what Kovačić does, but
fancy as well about they've never gotten relegated. What do you think about that?
Sergio,
is that something you like? Proud of? Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, like he was consistently performing for us season.
I think you're missing the point, man. I think you're missing the point.
He cannot play as a 9. Kai is the second. We only have two main 9 in the team.
Michael, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Mount, and Havertz if they blame behind the tackle. So the tackle's got to find the way.
If you have an agreement, that means there's a pre-contract or something that was like we agree on this one. They just went to announce it. Let's just.
Yeah, but that little touch. But listen, that little touch that he gets are more vital
to this particular style. Anyway.
Sorry, guys, I was doing selection.